We are the Wayward Dice Crew, back with our second session today. And, of course, we're going to be introducing our new friend, who's not... Oh. Whoops.
Are they contagious?
They are not contagious.
Attract the rainbow.
And that was an ad brought by someone who's not sponsoring us. Yes,
But buy
that's
Skittles.
Twitch. Skittles, of course. Sorry
Always
about
buy
that.
Skittles.
Yes. So, today, of course, we're doing our Dark Sun campaign continuation from last week. So, Nathan, would you like to kick it off just a little
Sure.
bit?
All right, so Ethan is rejoining us. Last week we had Zach, so maybe next week we'll have all three players present at the same time. Zach is getting sleep in preparation for the ACT tomorrow, so
Proud of him.
school before games, people. We are playing a conversion of 4th edition D&D Dark Sun in the 5th edition rule set for D&D. So our group is currently running through a fog-covered city that is being overrun with a dragonborn-like race called the Dray. Very skeletal, dragonish type humanoid people, creatures, and they have been messing around with these like large egg type things. The fog is about waist height, and these eggs you can just kind of like periodically in the city as you're running through the city streets, you can see like the domes of the eggs, and you guys have kind of like cut into some to see what's inside of them, and there are the remains of people inside of them. So the people are encrusted in like eggs.
We didn't just cut into them?
They're
or
egg
halfway
shaped. They're not actually eggs.
Chopped one in half, pretty much.
But they're shaped like, it's like an oval thing with like
Mhm.
humanoids inside of it, like the population. They appear to be like peasants and so on. And so there's been a chase after a group that had a magic caster in the last session, and headed towards the inside of the city. Let me grab my map. And you guys reach the foot of the ziggurat. Should we hold the side there? So race through here, kind of like through here past the merchant district. There's a little battle at this choke point right here, and you are now at the base of the ziggurat, and I believe your character is like racing up it.
Yes, I was running up behind them.
So he's running up after. There were two Dray, kind of like most about this green rainbow color there. This green one, they're about up there, and he's racing up towards them. And the halfling barbarian, shorter, not able to keep up. And then Tristani was kind of like down at the base of it with you. So we'll let you go ahead and kind of decide if you want to race up the steps after your companions or stay at the bottom with Tristani. And just as far as introduction of our characters, our first kind of attempt at this game, we tried to play without a GM, and so I actually made a character who is Tristani, a half-elf ranger, and so we're keeping her as like a DM-run NPC party member. Zach, who is not present, is playing a halfling barbarian named Grumble, and the halflings in this setting are very carnivorous. They don't eat their own kind in a cannibal fashion, but they like eating other humanoids, so any of the party members could make a decent meal as far as he's concerned. So yeah, so currently I think he's even carrying around some bones from something he killed. He's been gnawing on it from the market, I think.
Yes, he killed one of the Dray, and he decided to just take some of its bones.
Yeah.
The ground's covered in fog, so it took a little while to find him. I did some sharpshooting, nailed the target that I was going for. But apparently he also got shot by an unknown archer, whose arrow was hidden under the fog until he arose. And he took some of the Dray that he was eating, which no one was aware of, but
I think it's pretty obvious. There's
from
like
an
blood all over.
well, no one was aware of while it was happening. It just sounded like he was fighting until we realized that it was just him grunting and grumbling, as his name is put. So yes, once again, I'm playing the Mystic. The Mystic Eladrin, and Eladrin's kind of like an elf, but from the Feywild, pretty much directly. And a Mystic is a class from Unearthed Arcana, and pretty much it works on psionics, and it's sort of like a wizard, except it has a different set of abilities it can use that are more focused on using your mind, and there's also more teleportation, but from smaller distances.
What's your name?
Oh, Sylvester.
Sylvester.
Yes.
I am Lobu, the swindling elvish rogue. I was part of a caravan of elf merchants. My job was to go out and find rare things to sell to people. Now, rare is a bit of an overstatement in some cases, but I think I can convince you otherwise.
All right.
All right.
So Grumble has kind of been chasing after you. When we left off, I think as far as like running up the stairs, I asked for some rolls. He rolled very poorly, so
He
we're
did.
just gonna
The stairs
play
are as tall as he is.
that he tired quickly, and a few flights up, he stopped and he's realized that he is in fact holding some food, and he's going to pause his chase and be distracted, and he's now going to be munching on a limb of a dray. And so with that said, we'll resume the chase, and you're racing up the stairs. Tristani's kind of like covering down at the base because we had been chasing a fairly large party, so she's kind of like watching the party's rear, so to speak, down at the base of the ziggurat, which is a rainbow-painted gigantic pyramid that towers over the whole city. It's the equivalent of like a 6 or 7 story building as far as height is concerned. And what is your character doing? You're currently at the base of the stairs. About 2 flights up is the halfling, and about another 2 flights beyond that. It's about 4 flights up. He's about at the halfway point.
I would definitely follow up the stairs. Perhaps not quite a run, but a nice canter. I wanna be close enough to the action so that I can get into it, but I don't want to be in the front for sure.
Okay. And as far as visible like enemies or non-party members, there are 2 Dre carrying one of those kind of like orb type things. They're kind of manhandling it, and they're up about 1 story from the peak of like the thing, where they're almost at the top of it, whatever's up there, and they are moving slowly because they're burdened by their thing. They have like kind of like tied with ropes and straps, so they're kind of like slowly going up, like less than half the pace of you guys.
Okay.
And you were pretty much sprinting up there, weren't you?
Yes, and I believe that I've already tried this once, but I think I'm going to try making another psionic hammer attack.
What's the range?
120 feet.
Okay. And had you made one before? I don't remember you making one. I thought you were
I
at a
did
distance.
try doing it. We were within distance. I did try doing it. Would you allow me to try it again?
Yes, and while he's doing that,
Okay.
give me a Constitution check. DC is 10.
I passed.
Okay. And then if you want to sprint, it'll be 15.
Okay. Wow. I'm not gonna sprint.
All right.
So as he's passing
sorry.
the barbarian, you are they're kind of this is kind of like your last chance to make an attack or 2, maybe even 2, depending on what happens before they crest the top and you lose line of sight.
So it needs to make a strength check for me.
Are you aiming for the right or left one?
The one on the left.
Okay, I rolled a 5, so he's gonna fail.
Okay. Then I get to deal 1d6 of damage and push him 10 feet in any direction I choose. So I'm going to push him down the stairs.
Okay.
10 feet. So he's probably just going to fly off the stairs and down that way. So a d6 of damage is what he's going to take. It's going to be force damage. So he takes 3 damage. And I don't know exactly what happens to this
Is it the right or left one again?
The left one.
Left. Oops.
Yes. What's his name?
He doesn't have any. I gotta find. I need to erase this. And it is on the.
Ethan, what should his name be?
Well. Well, he's a Dre.
Yeah.
His name is Misfortune.
Oh, the other one's name is Ray.
Misfortune and Ray.
Yep.
Is that R-A-Y?
It's a ray of misfortune.
Or R-A-E?
It's definitely R-A-Y.
Alright.
His parents were not very creative. They're like, oh, D-R-A-Y? We'll just drop the D. It's a girl. So, yeah. So we have Ray and Misfortune. And Misfortune is, well,
What happened to Mr. Fortune?
Misfortune has started falling,
So it's
and
2
his
girls.
companion is attempting to hold on to the egg. And let me see if he's able to do so. He does. So he's got the egg
She.
at.
He's
Let's
got
see.
the egg. Go ahead.
So as an Eladrin, your eyesight is much better than mine. So are these two females up there?
Yes, definitely.
So so you can hear the left one kind of like cursing as she like stumbles down, and she takes additional fall damage. Roll another dice 6.
Oh, sure. That's an extra 2 damage on top of that, so 5 overall.
So getting bruised and
Is she like rolling down the stairs toward me?
yeah, you knocked her feet out, so she kind of like fell head over heels, and we'll give her a dex save to see if she can catch herself. Oh, yeah, high roll. All right, so she's able to stop herself after she falls a flight of stairs down. So you're maybe less than 100 feet away now, so we'll call it like 3 flights of stairs. The other one's 4 flights of stairs,
Okay.
and they're 1 more flight from the top, so to speak. So, all right, so the other one was able to keep the egg from falling, and I think it's not going to attempt to recover its friend. It wants to get the egg to the top, so I'm going to see if it is successful.
it was-
Oh, man. All right. So,
Successful or no?
Very
Yeah.
talented Dre
Yes?
here.
Okay.
yeah, I had another high roll. So, it's lugging it, like, single-handedly. It's just kind of like...
What is it? Is it like
Like,
larger than
yeah,
it?
it's just, so...
Yeah.
She.
Probably not. Dre are fairly good-sized, so...
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely a burden, but both the rolls I've made not to drop it and to carry it were extremely high. And they failed on the strength check to avoid the thing, though, so whatever. Alright, so Certain Negative
Incredible.
Porpoise, Misfortune, is now sprawled out and attempting to right herself. Let's go back to you.
Misfortuneous.
Is it, would I be close enough to...
That's Misfortuna.
Misfortuna? But it's a miss. It's that, like, she's not married.
Uh-huh.
It's not Mrs., it's Miss.
Yeah, it's the postmodern title.
Yeah, there you go.
Alright, so she fell 1 flight of stairs. That puts her within 1 flight of us? Or close to?
I think I said 3 from him, so 4
okay.
or 5 from
Okay,
him.
my bad then.
It's approximately from your position, maybe 120. Like, this would be a pretty decent bow shot if you have a short bow.
I do in fact have a short bow.
Yeah, and she's sprawled out, so we say you can you could make a shot without disadvantage. I think. Well, what's the disadvantage distance?
I don't know just off the top of my head. I want to say it's 60 feet.
Okay, so maybe I was thinking of a long bow actually. So.
Short bow,
It's
We
a
should probably
60,
mark this.
320.
or 80 to 320.
Oh, 80, 320, sorry.
Okay, so it will be disadvantage. After the next flight, then you would not have disadvantage.
Alright, then I will, I'll definitely pull out my short bow and knock an arrow as I... Not quite
You
running because
you
I
wanna
don't want
pause
to
and shoot?
stab myself. No,
Or you want to race ahead
I
like a
would-
double move?
I would like to definitely double move, but I want to make sure that I have my bow out at this point.
Alright, so you're a few paces behind Kale's character, and since you've double moves, Tristani's kind of watching from below. The halfling's oblivious because he's munching away on his limb. Not his own limb, on the limb of the Dre that he killed, so... Alright, okay, so the other Dre is now reaching the approach to the top. Say maybe a few stairs left. So Kale will cut back to you. The other Dre has now stood up and is racing back up to assist. They're pretty much ignoring you guys and trying to get that egg up to the top.
Okay.
Okay, so they're about... So the other one's kind of like catching up, and the other one's kind of been slowed by just being one person. And probably after the next round, they'll be over the edge onto the top of the ziggurat.
Okay. I think I'm going to, as my bonus action, I'm going to change my psychic focus over to the nomadic arrow, which basically means that I don't suffer from disadvantage from rolling with ranged attacks anymore. Then I'm going to move up the stairs 30 feet, if that's possible. And then I'm going to, after that, make a shot on the one that's running up. The one that I knocked over,
Misfortuna.
I'm just going to pop. Yes, Misfortuna. And my roll is a 21.
That hits.
Alrighty. And that's going to be 7 damage.
Okay. So, what area were you aiming for?
Definitely her legs.
Okay. So, you miss her legs, and your shot goes high and embeds itself into the rib cage. And she kind of like clutches vainly like at her back and just kind of like falls over and just falls off the stairs.
Oh man.
And
I wish I would have realized that.
lands
I could have
about-
just thrown her that way whenever I did.
so the ziggurat is actually like stair stepped.
Yeah. On
but
both sides?
it's like flights of stair steps.
Oh, okay. So there's like a flat. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So, it's like
she
stair
falls
steps
about
and they're
15
flat
feet
walls you
and
go
then just
across.
crunches, and she is kind of like,
God.
yeah, you can't really, because she's above you, you can hear the thud, and you don't hear any like steps. She doesn't get
At
back
the end of
up.
my movement, do I like see her level
No,
with
no,
me?
because she's above you still.
Oh, okay. So she's
Yeah,
still.
because you were shooting upwards, so you kind of,
Uh huh.
it's a weird angle.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Let me see.
It was
I guess
a really
it's
impressive
about-
shot. You actually feel really lucky for making it.
That's what I
Yes.
do.
I would be impressed to make
She
a shot
didn't
up
appear
the
to be
stairs.
wearing any sort of armor or anything.
Yeah,
So.
but
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying right here. Hang on.
Yeah. So the stairs, I'm approximating everything.
Yeah. So if you could hold this. So yeah. So you're saying like right here, it would be.
No, down to the right.
Well, I know. You're saying like flights of stairs, and then it's like
Yeah,
this
the
big
temple.
drops right past there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she fell down like onto like the second from the top
Mhm.
flight at the bottom.
Let me get this back to Nathan.
Yeah.
I don't know how to hold things.
Yeah. You got it.
Perfect.
All right. So you've done that. The other one on the right, Miss Ray,
Uh huh.
successfully kind of like gets it up and kind of rolls it over, and she and the egg kind of disappear from view as she crests the peak.
All
Let's
right.
head back to you.
All right, I'm going to continue moving forward.
So
At
you
this
can now
point-
actually pass him at this point.
Yeah, at this point, I would just double move forward to try and get to the top
Okay.
to
So
see
Cool,
Ray
wait
and the
up.
egg.
Lobu is now racing past you, bow and arrow in hands, and yeah. So at this point, we can go ahead and end the combat round, and you guys can decide if you just want to race to the top.
Yes, I believe,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
believe that's what we're doing.
I'm incredibly curious about
Okay.
what's going on here.
And below you, you can hear Tristani like kind of like talking to Grumble or something, like hissing like orders, but you can't like make out the gist of it. But you
Mhm.
can like hear their voices down below.
Yeah.
If you glance down towards them when they're talking, you can see they're not actually in combat engaged or anything.
Okay, cool. So,
All right.
Well-
So you guys reach the kind of like the top of the stairs and look over the edge of the ziggurat. I'm just gonna look at our picture here for some inspiration. Again. All right, and let's see. Let's get some dimensions. So the width of the stairs from left to right. So these are massive, like kind of like decorative stairs, about 20 feet wide. And the whole width of the platform at the top is about 100 feet wide. And as you come up to the top, it's actually rectangular, so it's a little bit deeper, like maybe closer to 200, 250 feet deep. So it's not like a square top, it's not a squared off pyramid. And in the center of the platform is a large building, a square building with slanted roof that's been painted red. And emanating from the entrance is open, it's a very large entrance, is this like massive cloud. So if you remember from the beginning when we first approached the city, I can't remember if this was in the session you were in last, but like the whole city was like under like a cloud. Do you remember that when we were coming back from previous area? And the cloud is like kind of like, it's not like a natural cloud formation. So this whole city is like under this dark cloud. And the cloud appears to be like spewing almost like a volcano. It's not like a volcano eruption, but it's like this like cloud that's like darkening the city. And that cloud is also covering, it's not quite waist height up here, it's more like knee height. And the fog has been spilling over the sides of the ziggurat into the city. And from your vantage point now, you can see, you actually have a clear view of the city. So I'll leave it up to you if you want to actually like look around on there. I'll describe your immediate vicinity here in just a moment. But basically, it's dark. It's not like nighttime dark, but it's definitely not. I mean, it's the middle of the day, and it's like twilight type of like darkness levels. So you can see okay, but it's not brightly lit. And the fog is kind of like oozing, almost like waterfall-esque, and like rivulets down into different parts of the city. And so it appears that all of this kind of stuff is emanating from the ziggurat. So as you look out in front of you, you can see there's some kind of like executioner block, and there's just kind of like dried blood everywhere. And you realize now that the stains on the steps are probably stains from like beheadings, where they were beheading prisoners and like tossing their heads down the stairs. Okay, so it's like a sacrificial area. You also know from some of the lore of the city that the Sorcerer King made his home here in the ziggurat, inside the ziggurat. You can actually go inside of it. It's always guarded, so no one ever goes in. yeah, so there were all kinds of rumors after his death, his murder in the gladiator ring, and lots of rumors about what happened. Anyways, there's a transition time, and now there's like this like cataclysm of like what's going on. So you've been chasing the Dre. You see the Dre that had rolled the egg. We're just gonna call it eggs for lack of a better term, and is been joined by several other Dre, and they are half the distance. We'll say maybe 100 feet ahead of you guys, kind of like rolling the egg towards the entrance. And there are eggs all over up here. Like there's eggs all over. Outside, there seems to be close to 1 or 2 dozen Dre up here. And there's quite a few armed ones, like a couple with shields and spears, a few with swords in the hip, a couple have a crossbow, that sort of thing. So there's definitely an armed contingent up here, which you hadn't really encountered before. Definitely enough to take you guys out quickly. And also next to the chopping block, there's a woman, a human female, and she's kind of like bound and gagged, and she's alive. And she's kind of like thrown across the chopping block, like kind of like right there, and just kind of like thrown over and kind of just like left there. And the Dre are kind of like, several of them have their backs to you while they're moving the egg. And so right as you guys start kind of taking this in, the one that you recognize, the Ray with her markings, she kind of like is speaking in a language, and she turns and points right at you guys.
Yeah.
And her eyes just kind of like widen as she sees you, and she kind of like gives like a bark, and everyone kind of like and fixates on the two of you guys.
Attention. I was actually about to ask if they notice us, but I
think they noticed us.
The chopping block is not actually fastened to the. It's like stone, everything's stone, but the chopping block is like a wood chopping block.
Kind of thrown on there on top.
It's just right there. It's big enough to take like blows and that sort of thing, but it's basically about like kneeling height where somebody leaned over it, and it's also very conveniently located towards the top of the stairs. So when they behead people, they can just kick the heads and they just roll right on down or whatever. So,
is it very heavy?
So the woman is like right there, like within 10 feet.
Within 10 feet of us?
And she's bound and gagged.
How far is the closest Dre?
I think I said it was. I think it was under 100 feet. Let's call it like 70.
Oh wow! So the lady's super close to us. They're far away. All right.
Yeah, they're hauling. They're like collecting eggs.
And I'm guessing the lady looks at us.
The other ones are like assembling their weapons. They're like.
All right.
This kind of stuff.
I'm gonna be like. In telekinesis, I'm gonna tell Lobu. I'm gonna say, Lobu, go.
Where?
You say this out loud. You just say where in the middle of nowhere.
I don't think he can communicate.
Yeah, he can't. Yeah, he can't talk back in telepathy. So
he's like, where?
I tell him go. What? I say, go, Lobu. Get her.
Okay. So I'm gonna run up to the woman. I'm gonna pull out one of my daggers. Does she have an obvious coin purse on her?
Oh my God, no!
No. Okay.
He's just gonna rob this poor lady who's dying.
Okay.
no.
So after a quick look over for the coin purse, I actually like cut the ropes that bind her, and I run down the stairs.
Oh, okay. So you take a
While
quick
he's
glance.
doing that, what are you doing?
I'm trying to look at my skills to see what I want to do,
Okay.
and I don't see anything interesting. So I'm gonna.
So in that moment, a crossbow bolt goes whizzing towards you, and an arrow gets loose at you while you're pausing to look for the coin purse.
Okay.
So I rolled a 1 against you.
He missed.
And I rolled a 14.
Can we say that he
plus
shot
3,
one of them in the
17.
back?
That's
That
gonna
hits
hit.
you. All right. So while you're bent over, like checking her for a coin purse. All right. 6 points of damage.
Okay.
So let's roll for a hit location. Left leg. All right. So you have an arrow just missed the bone. It's just kind of like poking through your leg.
Yeah, so I'm just like a couple steps on here. I see him grab her, so then I just like take a couple steps back down, but I first shoot my bow. Is that possible? Or do we need to roll initiative?
You
for
shoot
this?
the bow with the captive.
No.
Oh.
No.
I mean, stealing's one thing.
I'm going to shoot
a
one of
guy,
the Dre.
shoot
I'm going
eyes.
to shoot at one of the Dre.
Oh, okay.
Also, I've spent another arrow, so now I have 17.
The one you recognize, there's 4 total. She's got like 3 helpers.
Oh, there are only 4? Oh.
No. She's got 4 helpers with the egg. That's not counting the armed contingent that's over.
Oh, okay. Never
They're
mind.
actually further away.
Uh-huh.
Like they're all the way at the entrance to the building.
Okay, I gotcha.
But the archer and the crossbow person fired.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot at the one with the crossbow then. The one that shot at me, I'm just gonna lob an arrow right back at him.
Go for it.
That's a 15 to hit.
Alright.
All right, so that does hit. Sweet. That's gonna do a whopping 5 damage,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna like creep down the stairs to where they can't see me very well. Like my head is kind of peeking over, but not enough that like an arrow would actually hit me. Like effectively cover if that's possible.
Alright. So we'll say he was like reloading his crossbow and
Uh-huh.
it kind of like stuck into his hand into the crossbow. Just
Oh,
like kind
boy.
of complete shot.
Well,
All right.
sweet.
And then what were you doing with after you checked for the coin purse? You were unsuccessful.
I would like to cut her ropes and then run down the stairs.
Okay. Do you want to?
You don't even grab her. You just
she
cut
has got a
her
gag.
ropes.
You move the gag as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I assumed that would be attached by rope unless they have some other.
Yeah. You could just pull it down.
I guess that works too.
Actually, if you cut her hands free, she just pulls it down on her own. How's
Yeah,
that?
I
While
would-
you're getting
I
her
would
feet
figure
or
that
something.
would be
She's
what was
bound
something.
hand and foot, so you cut her bonds.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you want to give her any issues? Issue any commands?
I
Issues.
figure
She has issues.
I figure at this point she's gonna understand that following me would be a lot better than laying here with these lizard people.
So did you say anything to her at all?
No,
Or
nothing.
you just cut her free and run away?
Yeah.
I love it.
All right.
I've already done her a greater service than she has earned for me.
She
so.
just stands there and just gets pelted with arrows because you didn't help her leave. You just cut her and walk off. It's like, thank you. What are you doing exactly? Oh yes. I'm also gonna tell one of them in their minds. I'm gonna say like the one that I shot. I'm gonna like, he's within 120 feet, right? The one that I shot in the hand. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell him in his head. I'm gonna be like that. That's what you get. And like a really, really weird like high school, like I told you so kind of way.
So the dice I'm
Oh,
passing
thank
out
you.
are inspiration dice for playing their role play hooks for their characters.
And I have a question. Can I spend inspiration to pull out a plot twist card?
For this scene?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, here, pass it back over.
All right, there you go.
We also have the Pathfinder game plot twist cards, which we kind of repurpose for fun.
Mhm.
Do you want me to just pick one?
Yeah, just draw one out. I don't care. All right.
So you can use it now or bank it for later.
I feel like if I use it for now, it's gonna be terrifying.
Okay.
So
Sounds
I'm
good.
totally gonna use it now. The card says sloth on it. I hope this does not affect the lady, but
I mean,
if
if it does, that's totally her own
Something
fault.
takes longer than you expected.
it would effectively be that.
So
I'm
what takes longer
concerned
than
for
you
my own
expected
health.
is the captive is like undecisive since she ran away, and so she doesn't actually. You get a few steps down, and you turn to beckon her, and she hasn't followed you.
Wait, hang on a second. I have a psychic ability thing where I can use my reaction to do something, and then I'm gonna see if I can do it, and then I can save her from dying if she gets shot at. That's gonna be nomadic stab. Give me a couple seconds.
Hold on, what? Can you describe what you're trying to
Yeah,
do?
just-
Because
just
she's
tell
not,
us what's
she's
up.
not been shot at yet.
Oh yes. Well, basically, I can replace her spot with where I'm at, and just swap spots with her.
That's not necessary at this point.
Oh,
She's not being attacked.
well. Okay.
So you shot an arrow at the crossbowman and hit him. What is your next action? You
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
stand your ground up here?
Like I said, I'm actually just gonna kind of like kneel down and just peek over the edge, and then if I see any kind of other opportunities, I'll lob another arrow.
Peek over the edge, looking back down. You're at the top of the.
Oh, I don't know what I'm saying is I'm gonna go down the stairs just a tiny bit. I'm gonna peek over the flat area so that I can like see if anyone's gonna do anything. Then I can shoot another arrow.
Okay, so you're saying you're on the stairs.
Yeah, I'm taking cover
I
by the
thought you were on
stairs.
the platform already.
Oh no, I'm not. I apologize.
You see the woman who's been cut free. He's run back, and she's kind of standing there between the two groups of you now, and she's like almost like frozen, like not sure what to do because she's been bound there for who knows how long.
Is it possible for me
And
to
some
see-
elf ran up there, cut
Uh-huh.
her loose, and then ran away. And she's just kind of like sitting there, just like kind of like indecisive what to do. Do you do anything in the situation?
Hang on, real quick. I imagine that while you cut her loose, that you say, "Give me your money."
No,
And
no, I say
no.
absolutely
Oh, okay. So
nothing
you just
to
say
her.
nothing. So she just gets saved. But, I believe I'm gonna use some telekinesis, and I'm gonna say, run.
That's not
I'm gonna
telekinesis.
tell her to run. You're right.
That's
You're
telepathy.
right. I'm
You
gonna,
just go throw large plastic letters
So,
at her that spell out the word run.
You had planned to tell her to run. Instead, You cause her to run using your telekinetic
I
ability.
do have a
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
So her feet start moving
So-
her towards her, or towards you guys, and so she starts like moving, and you're like, run! And she's kind of like,
Uh-huh.
and that kind of like puts her to motion. And
Does she run the right way?
we'll
at
say
least?
the crossbowman is not reloaded. The bowyer takes a final shot and misses.
Oh, okay.
All right,
The
and
arrow
so
went-
an arrow just goes like clanging off like past her, and then once it kind of like bounces by, she realizes she's gonna die, and she just like goes booking like right past you, racing
Okay.
down the stairs. So you're kind of like watching, and all of a sudden, you see her like finally like joining you guys like on the stairs.
Sure.
Okay.
Alrighty, well, that's perfect.
All right, so we can cut to like a chase scene sort of moment. So just describe what your
Slow
characters are
motion.
doing. We'll go back to Kale and then to Ethan.
I think I'm just kind of watching. Once I realize I'm like about to shoot back, and then I realize the arrow's gonna miss, and then I go ahead and just let
There's
go
about
of
a
it.
dozen melee wielding.
Oh yes, I
weapon
go ahead and
wielding
let go
group.
of the arrow that I had. Like, I do this, and then
Final
I see
shot.
the arrow fly. Yeah, and I shoot at the guy that has a crossbow because
Okay.
he deserves to die. I imagine that a 24 hits.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then I'm gonna do another 6 damage.
Okay. All right. So, and then you turn to run down. You kind of watch your arrow strike home. You don't quite see where it lands, but you kind of
Oh, yeah.
you kind of hear it hit.
I think I'm gonna keep on peeking because, like I said, it's kind of like I'm basically like using just a line, you know.
You're
so
probably going to be surrounded by a dozen melee wielding opponents and cut down if you stay another round.
Oh, okay. Then I
They're double moving
very
and 60,
carefully-
60 feet.
Okay,
per
then I
round.
very carefully like go down the stairs if I can 30 feet, or if I need to go slower.
Because
to
the
be
next
safe.
round they'll surround you, and if you attempt to flee, they'll all get attacks of opportunity and you'll die.
Unless I just teleport, but
Well, maybe you can stick around.
I would have to spend points, so I'm not gonna do that. I believe I'm just gonna kind of just go down the stairs if I can do 30 feet without stumbling and falling.
Yeah,
Then
you've
I'm
not
gonna do
been.
that.
You're the one that's got the arrow in your leg.
That's
So let's
true.
cut back to you. So she catches up to you easily. You've not been able to move at speed because of the arrow. Do you want to do anything about it, or do you just want to kind of like hobble along?
Is the head poking out the back of my leg?
We'll say it's kind of like equidistant. It's kind of like conveniently like, yeah, the arrow's like right evenly distributed. To
All
the
right,
middle of
I'm
your
gonna
leg.
cut at a diagonal the back of the arrow off and attempt to pull it through my leg.
Okay, you're successful.
Wonderful.
Take a point of
Ow.
damage.
I will accept that.
That
It's
sounds like
also
something
unbandaged
over there.
and bleeding, so
Can I take some of the rope that was tied to the woman, or even just the ball gag, and tie like a tourniquet around my leg?
I
Above?
think
Oh.
the ball gag is around her neck.
You could probably Ethan. You probably could just take a dagger and cut it off.
It's not a life-threatening
Oh,
wound, so
okay.
you could probably.
I don't. Are you sure?
Do you want to pause to? There's no like arterial spurting or anything.
Okay, then if nothing's like spraying out of me, I think I'll just not worry about it.
Okay.
Famous words. If nothing is spraying out of me.
All right, you can feel
Not
the
gonna
warm
worry
blood
about
trickling down your leg. So
I'm more worried about taking more arrows.
yeah, rightfully so. You must be
Oh
intelligent.
yes, I've shot 2 more arrows.
You sure you don't want to stay behind and peek over the top?
I think I'll pass on that actually.
All right, so you pull
There's
out.
no money
you
to
can
be
move
made in
another
death.
30 feet down.
Thank you for the DM pity that you gave me and said, by the way, you're gonna die if you don't do that. You know, if you do this, I appreciate it.
Well, I forgot about your teleport skill, so there's always a chance you might survive. So, yeah,
So
it's
you're
your
saying
character.
there's
So
a chance.
whatever fits what your character would do. Some people just make a valiant stand and they
I
sing
am
songs
very
about them.
smart, so I'm not gonna do that very dumb thing.
Yeah, there's a whole saving your people's pocket plane to worry about as well.
You're right. That is something. I do have like a home to eventually return to,
Yeah.
but not at this moment.
Do you have any niños back home?
Any what?
Niños? Isn't that what the elves call the Eladrin call their children?
I definitely don't have any minions. I might have a couple, other people, that I care about.
Oh,
Yeah.
others like yourself?
Well, I mean, also, yeah, kind of like that, but like being around here and seeing all the elves and the humans, I don't know. It might.
So you're like the master race.
Might seem kind of. Oh, I'm definitely a master race. Like elves are kind of less.
You're at the
important than
top
what
of
I
the
am.
largest structure for like miles around besides mountains. You're literally looking down on all the other living creatures.
I am on.
Except these Dre who are slightly above you because you've gone to look over the edge.
Because they're better
Oh,
than
yes,
you, but
yes,
you
yes.
are looking down on everyone else.
Metaphorically and literally right now.
For the time being.
Yeah. I believe that I'm going to turn invisible. I can't do that, but Can I think really, really hard and try to use my mind powers to make myself like be sheathed in a cloak of transparency?
Yeah, you totally think you're invisible.
Oh my gosh, I rolled an 8.
I don't know what that even
acceptable?
means, but you think you're invisible.
Like,
All right, I'm gonna. I'm thinking.
you're 40%
really
sure
hard.
you're invisible.
I'm 40% sure. I'm
Yeah,
not
nothing.
100.
Nothing's stopping your character from believing he's invisible or invincible for that matter. So you guys are racing down. We'll go ahead and say once you get about halfway down, you're actually able to catch up to him. You're a little bit slower. We'll just knock off 5 feet until you bandage your wound on your movement speed, just because like the pain's kind of slowing. You're not quite as fleet of foot as normal because of the kind of pain, I guess.
Right.
If you want to move the full speed, you'd have to give me like a Constitution check against 15 to move at full speed, which you can wait to speed up if you want.
I think I'll hold off on that. I don't seem to be in any immediate danger.
The woman is actually about one story further on down than you are, and at this point, you're now getting to where you can see that the barbarian halfling Grumble has actually gone down to the base of the ziggurat and has joined Tristani, and he appears to have weapons in hand and is not actually currently snacking. And Tristani has an arrow knocked in her bow, ready to cover you guys. And then behind you, the Dre are now like kind of like pouring over the top of the steps, and one of them's like gonna just throw a javelin down at you guys. I think you're the closest towards the back.
I'm invisible. You can't see me, of course.
You think you're invisible.
No, I am 100% invisible. I assure you. I'm telling him that. I'm gonna say, don't worry about me because you can't see me.
All right. So that missed you. I'm just gonna roll a D100 to see if it hits one of your companions since it's flying past you. So a javelin goes hurtling past you.
These
It's like,
D100 checks
it
are
almost
terrifying
nailed you.
anymore.
and
Wait,
roll
do I
a-
hear the javelin?
You hear it when it strikes the stairs and kind of careens off, and it's kind of like clatters and stuff.
So I don't hear it
And it skips
before it
down.
like reaches me.
No,
Okay.
you see it go past, like maybe within.
I
a
was
couple
hoping I could pull some mad skills and catch it out of the air.
So just be a monk. You're not a monk.
You're right.
You're
rogue.
a rogue. Even worse. Monks are way cooler. You should have been a monk, except that it does not make any sense for your character concept. This kid. Oh yeah. What are you?
So
doing?
does somebody get hit with the javelin?
feet. No, it kind of careened off down the ziggurat and comes to rest somewhere out of play. All right. So they're all chasing after you. There's definitely double digits. Unless you want to pause and actually start counting, there's just a lot of them. You guys are outnumbered by at least 3 to 1. Probably 4.
I'm trying to see if I have any kind of area attack stuff. Looks like I don't.
When you were at the halfway point, you noticed that there was a large collection of like a mass of like people, so to speak, or like creatures in the fog, kind of like around the ziggurat towards like the main part of the city. You guys are in the city's kind of divided into 2 parts. The circular walled portion with a large golden like domed tower in the center. It's like the seat of power. Is off on the other half of the city, and the ziggurat kind of like dominates this other part of the city, but around either side of it are the main ways headed off towards that other part of the city, and the roads seem to be kind of like packed full of like milling bodies, so to speak.
Okay.
So you kind of saw that when you were up, like kind of like racing down. You kind of noticing these as you're racing down the slopes. But yeah, anyways. If you ran to either one, you could like, so as you're going down the stairs, you could actually get off on any like the levels, like the different, because they're kind of like stair steps, about 10, 15 feet tall each story. And so when it levels off where you can walk on it, you could actually race down one of them and look around the corners of the ziggurat, so to speak. But you would be going perpendicular and they would be racing down the stairs and cutting you off from your companions, but that's one option.
I think I'm actually gonna, when I get to the ground level, I'd like to find the nearest open building and find somewhere to hide.
Okay. I'll just show you the map so you can see where some of the buildings are, and let's just kind of like pick one. Oh, there is. There is like a large dome building here, but the closest one is like right here.
I think I would definitely be trying to get into this little building here.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say there's like a door in there that's shut. Don't forget that you are now back into the waist deep
Fog, yes.
fog, and
This is
and you're kind of like
intentional.
limping. And Tristani is like, "What happened?"
They're shooting arrows at us.
And okay, and she kind of just like she's like kind of nodding, and then you just kind of go on into the building.
Mm-hmm.
How do you enter the door?
Well, first I'd like to just like push, pull, like try and open it.
Yeah, it's not locked, so you're able to enter in.
Great. Then I open the door
Okay.
and then I close it behind me.
Well, you would, except Tristani's following you.
Well.
So you're gonna wait for her to enter.
Yes, but I definitely close it behind her.
Okay, and then the barbarian is kind of like standing with weapons drawn, and this like human woman has like raced down, and she's kind of like stopped and like out of arm's reach, and he's kind of like licking her like licking his lips, like he's still hungry, and you kind of like race, like you kind of catch up to them.
I was actually gonna request. Is there any spot that I could jump from Ziggurat onto like a building, onto a small building?
No, it's all cleared. The area around the Ziggurat is actually the road, so because it blocks the city, all the buildings are like there's a road kind of like going
That
all
makes
the way
sense.
around
So
it.
think kind of like Jackson
there's-
Square in a sense.
Yeah, because it's kind of like I don't know if it's like a holy place, but it's like a respected building.
Yeah.
And so there's no buildings built onto the base of the Ziggurat. It goes right into the open roadway, like pedestrian.
Okay,
and
that
car
makes sense.
traffic.
So I think that I would jump down, and since I'm invisible, I believe that I would run around a corner and then just kneel below the fog. Like I'm curious. So is the fog thick on the ground, or is it just like a layer of fog? And you
Oh
can
yeah,
see
that's how you shot the barbarian with an arrow because you couldn't see.
Yes, but I'm saying like if I laid on the ground, would I be able to see through the fog at all? Would it be? Is it just like a layer?
No,
that you
it's,
can see
it
feet?
would obscure you.
Okay. Yeah. I'm
But
just
before
gonna...
you were able to actually do that,
Oh yeah.
the barbarian can see you, and he's like, "Who's she?"
I'm gonna like look around, look behind me, and I'm gonna say in his head, I'm gonna be like, I don't know. She's someone.
And she looks at you, and then she looks at the barbarian. She's like, "I'm Sephanie."
Is she looking at me when she says that?
No, she's answering for herself to the barbarian to
Okay,
to
so she
grumble.
looks at him. I'm just gonna stand there, being my invisible self, and I'm just gonna slowly crouch and then lay down on the ground under the fog, so
Yeah.
no one can see me.
So you go from being actually visible to being obscured. At this
There you
point.
go. No one can see me. I am now more visible.
How far away are you doing this from like the base of the stairs?
Wherever our halfling and the lady are.
So like 10 or 20 feet.
Yeah, I pretty much kind of just want to be like hiding, and they'll run past me, and then I'll be behind them. That's kind of my idea.
Okay.
Eventually, instead of running, because they're
Yeah,
gonna
you
catch
can
up
make
with
out
us.
about 15 or so enemies, kind of like racing down the stairs after you.
Okay,
Now that you guys have reached the bottom, they actually seem to be slowing down just a little bit.
gotcha. That makes sense.
And we're also out of tea. Should we make a little bit more?
I was kind of hoping for some more tea.
We're gonna
Actually.
pass him a water bottle. Can we fill up to the top line and then just
Yeah.
start it boiling again?
I can do that. There'll be some ambient noise in the
Alright,
background. of the
So,
TV being
so you go into the building and shut the door.
Yeah.
Tristani. And so you're kind of like crouching. Are you doing anything else besides just kind of like hiding and wait?
I'm slightly humming to myself, but once I hear anyone get close, I'm gonna stop.
So you're humming.
Yep.
Alright, so Stephanie
very
and
lightly.
the barbarian halfling Grumble have a quick back and forth, and he's like, "Where do you come from?" And she's like, "I was taken captive by the Dre," and she like spits on the ground off to the side, and she's like, "Ooh, that's really loud." Should we take an intermission real quick? Because I could use the restroom as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we can cut back to the scene after we make some more tea.
Alrighty, so we're gonna shut off the audio. Sure you know the drill. We'll be back in
Less than 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Yeah, or less.
Alright.
It'll take it like 3 minutes. Well.
We'll be back in 5 minutes then. See you guys soon.
All right.
And we're back from our little intermission. What kind of tea is this again, Nathan?
It's just a
London
English
black tea.
Black tea.
English black tea. Alrighty. Sweet.
But it's
Less
caffeinated, so.
Cream and sugar as well to go with that.
No
And
cream,
some-
just sugar.
Oh,
Which is unfortunate. I prefer cream to sugar, but
just sugar. Just sugar.
There might be creamer inside the door there. We could just crack one open.
We'll take a look and double check.
All right. So when we left off, Ethan, your character,
It feels
and
not open. We should
yeah, just open. Yeah, open it.
Sweet.
Your character and Tristani.
You have to open it up.
Yeah, you have to pull that. Have kind of closed the door behind you in a building that's maybe like 40 or 50 feet from the base of the stairs there, and you have obscured yourself in the fog.
Completely. Yes. I am laying prone on the ground,
You're prone on the ground. Okay.
but slightly
And-
out of the way.
The Dre are now about halfway down the ziggurat, chasing
Ah.
after you. They're not moving at a very fast pace. They're also in like armor and like shields and like weapons drawn and stuff, so they weren't moving as fast as you guys were, just kind of like racing away. You're also like an elf and a ladrin,
yeah.
and a fleeing prisoner, so you guys are like a little bit more motivated than they are.
One
They've
might
got
imagine.
superiority of numbers, so they're kind of moving in confidence, but not at speed. So
That makes sense.
when we left, the barbarian halfling was kind of like quizzing, not really an interrogation, but quizzing the freed prisoner, who introduced herself as Safini, and yeah, that might be the last thing you caught before you closed the door. Is you caught her name, maybe. But Kale,
See-
you're right there, so you can
Hang on.
actually hear the whole exchange.
Hey, real quick. So you just closed yourself in a door with no one else's notice.
No, Tristani's with me.
Oh, Tristani's with you? Okay, so both of you
It's been
guys
mentioned
did
like 4
that.
times.
Now our halfling and the prisoner are together, and then I'm right next to them, but on the ground.
The halfling and the prisoner
Alright.
are barely together because the ground is obscured by waist-high fog, and the halfling is
The
only
half-
slightly over waist-high, so he's kind of having the
Is he on his
conversation with the
Unix?
fog is like kind of like at this height.
Is he on his Enix currently? Did he hop on?
No,
there?
the Inex is
No, Inex,
over.
Yes.
No, the Inex is not here. He's
Okay,
not.
okay.
He
Sweet.
just came down off the stairs,
Mm-hmm.
and he had weapons drawn, but now he's kind of standing in the fog. So he's kind of quizzing her. Where are you from? I think was the last thing. I'm trying to remember what the last question I said
He's just
was.
sitting here like interrogating her while we're being chased by a big mob of people.
And
Alrighty.
he said she points up and the Dre are rushing down. She's like, the Dre have captured me, and if not quick, we'll be captured again. Come, let's follow your friends and escape to that building.
I assume that the halfling then just hops on the ground at the same time. After she says that, let's follow your friends, and then he gets up and runs with her whenever she says that.
Well, she starts racing towards the door
Oh,
where they
okay,
were,
okay.
and I think
I stay where I'm at.
you know where you're at.
Definitely.
All right. He kind of like sniffs the air, and he like walks over to where he can smell you, and he says, "Look, everyone's going in the building, and then you wait here." And he's not actually running after her just yet.
Who's saying this?
The barbarian.
Grumble. I'm gonna say in his head. I'm gonna be like, "Go."
All right. And he kind of like grunts, and you hear his
Mhm.
step. You can't see anything.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You kind of like mentally feel his like
I can feel his
his
pulse.
feeble brain.
Yes, I have
thoughts kind of
I
like
have a
receding
mental-
and going in a distance away from you.
All right, perfect. I'm gonna slowly like crawl toward the building. I'm completely disoriented. Never mind.
Okay.
I'm just gonna kind of crawl in a direction which I think
You're
is
gonna
toward
follow the
building.
direction he is going.
Which I think is that way. I mean, we can roll for it, we can do whatever, but I cannot see.
Nah, we won't roll for it right now.
I want to make
You're
that
crawling.
clear. I cannot see.
In the
Yes.
fog.
You're crawling. We're gonna decide later where you end up.
Do you still have a bow in hand?
No, I don't have a bow in my bag. No.
Okay, so you kind of have nothing in your hands. You're just kind of crawling along. in the
You know
fog.
what? My mind is my weapon, Nathan.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So I have my
But
mind.
your hand's free at the moment.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
For mental acuity, of course.
So the woman and the barbarian enter and then close the door behind them.
I would
And
definitely.
while they do that, you can actually see that the Dre are now approaching the second story of the ziggurat, and they will soon be down on like your level. So, what's the plan?
Well, first off, I almost throw a dagger at them as they walk in,
Okay.
as I was expecting them to be the Dre. I
You
stop
recognize the
myself
woman.
just in time,
Okay.
just barely, like, and then I stop, so I don't
Okay.
kill them.
Kind of see the head bobbing of like the halfling as he kind of like
Yeah.
is approaching. Now, interestingly, when the door opens, some of the fog spills into the room, but when the door shuts, the fog kind of like dissipates, and so there's actually no fog indoors. It's mostly outdoors wherever it can kind of go through openings. And I haven't described the room you're in, so it's not lit, but it's a fairly large room. It's some sort of it's kind of used to like store goods. We'll say there's like clothing lying about. Maybe some spools of thread and bolts of cloth, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So it's like clothing, like warehousing, like storage type stuff. And there is actually another fairly large door where some of the boxes and it's like a wheelbarrow with like 2 wheels instead of like a single wheel in the front. It's got like 2 wheels in the front, so it's kind of like squared off. And it's got some bolts of cloth, and it's kind of like pointed towards this like large doorway. It's like a double doorway, which is also closed right now. But it's on the opposite wall from the one you came in, so it kind of is like on the other side of the building.
Okay. I'm gonna hide in that cart thing.
Okay.
Under the
Well,
clothes.
it's got bolts of cloth. Okay.
Yeah, no, like, I'm trying to hide as opposed to
Do you want to
escape.
cover yourself?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
And I would like to announce that should
Just like me. Cover yourself. Go ahead.
I would like
You're
to announce,
practically invisible.
I would like to
Practic-
announce that in the case that they come through that door, that we should take this cart and go out this large door.
You want to mention that?
Yeah, that I'm vocalizing.
No.
Okay. And so Tristani actually like pushes the door open. She's like, "Oh, there's another building through here. It's much larger." And so she kind of like just pushes it open, and so you're kind of like, are you actually like peeking through what she's doing, or are you like gonna cover yourself?
I think I would peek through and see what she's doing.
Okay,
Like,
so you
I
kind of
opened
can
the
see
door
she
already.
pushes it, and there's actually it's much taller. It's actually like a much larger like warehouse. There's lots of like boxes and like pulleys and things, and there's windows, and so there's actually light streaming in. There's no like lanterns or torches or anything lit, but it's like a kind of like dark warehouse full of like stuff that you can kind of make out just from the doorway. But it is being lit through like open windows that are like the windows are like
Okay.
open where it's letting light in, and Grumble like kind of like immediately kind of like goes through the door, and then Sefini is like, "Oh yes, we can escape this way," and she races after the halfling. And Tristani comes up and she grabs like the things on like the wheelbarrow and she starts pushing you through the door. Unless you want to do something.
No,
about
I think I would definitely actually pull out 2 daggers
Uh-huh.
and ride the wheelbarrow proudly,
Uh-huh.
like excited for this
Like,
possible.
Let's
new
go
adventure.
somewhere.
There's a so the bolts of cloth that you're in.
Mhm.
This is like kind of like a silken women's dress fabric, and there's kind of like a pink bolt of cloth kind of thrown around, like kind of like it's kind of like magically like flowing behind you as she like kind of starts racing through the doorway. So like
Alright.
this pink sash.
I think I'm also gonna stuff some of the cloth in my bag.
Mhm.
I think it's definitely worth something.
Okay. Is there any particular color preference? There's kind of like a
Um,
teal blue.
if there's like a
pink, and
dark
there's like
blue
a soft
or purple,
custardy yellow kind of color.
custard yellow,
Yeah.
I would definitely take the blue then, the teal blue.
The teal blue. Okay.
Maybe like a spool of the pink.
Okay. Well, it's not really spools. It's kind of like rectangular bolts,
Mhm.
and they're like 2 cubits or a yard
Yeah.
wide, right?
All right.
Half a wingspan.
Mhm.
It's not gonna fit in your backpack, but you could definitely like grab one and kind of like carry it around with you.
All right, then I'm gonna.
Or
take,
you could just take off a couple lengths of it and just like cut it off and just wad it up and throw it in there.
I'm gonna take my. Okay. I will take as much as I can fit in my bag of the blue stuff.
Okay. And so you're just gonna kind of like measure out a bit that like what you think will fit.
Yeah.
All right, roll for tailoring.
All right.
All right.
Do I add anything to that?
What's your natural roll there?
12.
Good enough. You got enough for one dress.
Ooh, also, don't forget, you can always use your inspiration for a plot twist card.
I know.
Aha.
All right. Let's cut back to Kale. So everyone's
Alright.
fleeing through this
Sylvester.
warehouse. Yeah,
Sylvester, yes.
Sylvester. Kale's character. And All right. So you're crawling.
Definitely.
But over the sounds of your crawling, you can hear the Dray kind of like spreading out for battle.
Uh-huh.
They're like calling out commands. They're not speaking in common. What languages do you know?
I know Common, Elvish, and Sylvan.
Yeah, so they're speaking some sort of tongue that seems to be native to them. It's kind of like a
Draconic
guttural,
kind of thing.
yeah, something
Okay.
like that.
That
But
makes
it's like
sense.
their own language that you don't recognize.
Yeah, definitely. Also, while we're doing this, I'm going to change my Sonic focus to Nomadic Step, which is basically anytime I teleport, I can teleport up to 10 feet further.
So if you teleport twice as far.
No, just 10 feet further, because I can teleport like 30 feet
Oh,
per psionic point spent. So basically, I'll teleport like 30, and then an extra 10 on top of that. It just basically makes my teleporting a little bit better, just a tiny bit.
so you want to
So-
poke your head up and see where you are, or do you want to stay invisible?
How many does it sound like are there?
Well, you count it. You at least 15. I
All right,
think is-
I'm gonna mentally focus again,
Mhm.
turn invisible, and pop my head up and look back down.
All right. So you pop your head up
I think I'm invisible.
while pseudo invisible,
yes.
and they're all pointing, and like one of them like goes and like throws a javelin at you, like oh there, you know, it's kind of
Wait,
like
seriously,
there
toward
he
me
is,
right
and, like-
away?
Yeah, because you're not invisible,
Oh, but
but you think you are.
yeah, okay.
And so there's a javelin coming at you.
I'm gonna check and see my.
Oh, I rolled a 5. All right, so it kind of goes like right, like I mean it was kind of like hurled.
How
with,
far
like,
away am I from
haste.
this door? I have cloaked
You're
toward
close enough if you want to teleport, and then since you took that thing, we'll say you can actually teleport into the outer room.
It. Oh,
Now-
I don't even think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna do something even smarter. Would you just teleport to another spot in the fog so they just won't know where I'm at? It's even better
Do you
because then they
make-
think they found
Now,
me.
when you teleport, do you make a motion towards where you're teleporting to?
We'll see here.
I second the motion.
I'll be able to tell you in a second. I see what you did there. All right, Nomadic
I
Step.
think we take it to a vote.
Oh wait, never mind. Okay, I can't teleport.
Let's table this for later.
Your walking speed increases by up to 10 feet. I'm sorry, increases by 10 feet until the end of your turn as you're propelled by the magic of your teleportation.
Let's not worry
Never
about
mind.
that.
Okay.
What does your character actually do?
If you haven't moved yet, you can take a bonus action, teleport up to 20 feet per sonic point to an unoccupied space you can see. Can I see the fog?
Yes.
From within the fog. Alright.
Yes, because
So
your
I'm
head is
gonna do
poking at the
this.
fog where all the
All
Dray
right.
can see you now.
I'm gonna pull my head down and teleport 20 feet toward the door, but still be in the fog.
Okay.
Like in that direction.
This seems like a terrible plan.
So now I'm
So you
just-
can. So you were like looking at fog. You cast your spell,
Yeah.
and you still see fog all around you.
Alright. I don't know where I'm at all, but perfect. I'm just gonna kind of sit there and just be quiet. Do they sound further away now?
You hear the sound of a second and a third javelin kind of clanging off towards you. Might have been. It's off in a certain direction, but doesn't matter where because you
Alright.
can't see anything.
Fair enough, yeah.
All right. Well, you've lived another round, and so you are. Are you staying in the wheelbarrow?
As long as it seems like a convenient way for me to travel.
You're not having to expend energy on moving your limbs.
That sounds convenient. Actually, while I'm in here, I'm gonna take some of this cloth and tie my wound up.
That's an excellent idea. Yeah. So
Money
you
first,
realize
wounds
suddenly
later.
that the pale yellow cloth was underneath your wounded leg and is now like spattered and like blood and probably totally ruined. Unless you're into that
Oh,
kind
no.
of dress, but
Your tailored clothes are now ruined.
so you want to bind your leg with the yellow cloth.
Definitely the yellow, yeah.
All right. Give me a medicine check. DC 10.
Oh, 14.
It looked
Okay.
like a nat 20
All right,
first.
so you're able to at least like bind it and like you kind of like pull it tight and whatever, and it hurts. I mean, you seem to have bound it over
Mm-hmm.
where the well, you had an entry and exit hole. Man,
I
so-
mean, I would be wrapping all the way around my leg.
yeah, I know. I was just thinking about the fact that your leg has a hole on both sides because the arrow passed completely.
And no, hang on. I actually have a question. This goes into like, does a straw have 2 holes or just one?
No, we don't
Does
have
it
time
just
for this.
no. I'm saying, does he just have 1 hole in his leg, or does he have 2 separate holes?
All right, so we'll pick up here next week. We'll keep streaming while we discuss the amount of holes in a straw, and
in his leg, it's a debate that has to happen, of course.
There's one hole topologically speaking, and as a mathematician, I think that's what I'm gonna go with.
Thank you. Okay.
yeah, we really wanted Kale to stream with us, but we probably won't invite him back next week
Yes,
unless he wants to take over hosting.
I'm pretty. I think I am the host, but okay. Now
Well,
back
you
to
also
our-
thought you were invisible.
Back to our regular scheduled programming.
All right, session 7.
Is like
When we last left off, Kale was crawling through the fog, and you were riding in a wheelbarrow whilst bandaging your wounds. And Tristani is running forward, and while you're bandaging, you kind of like look up and you realize that they've continued racing, and there's kind of like I was gonna say a cart path, but there's like a worn path on the dirt that makes up the inside of this warehouse, leading to a much larger kind of door on the opposite end. It's kind of like, yeah, so they've run ahead, and Grumble and Safini have actually like kind of like pushed the doors open, and they've looked, and they're kind of like waving Tristani, and they like push the doors open just enough where she can kind of like get through with the wheelbarrow, because I guess that's what you're doing. And when they push it open, the fog starts pouring in, and then they all kind of like race back out into the open, and you're like pushed through the doors, and so you're now like riding the wheelbarrow. It's kind of like, you know, basically what people can see is Tristani's kind of like running, but they can't see where her hand. She's kind of like running like this, and all I see in front of her is like your head and this like beautiful like pink cloth flapping around, and it's like getting her in the face, and she's kind of like going like this, and then so like the wheelbarrow's kind of like zigzagging a little bit, and yeah, also she can. The fog might be a little bit deeper here because she can't quite see where the halfling is, and Safini is just kind of like looking like, what the hell is happening?
Oh, wait, so is Safini in front of us looking backwards?
Yes, yeah. She's about 10 or maybe 20 feet ahead of you guys. Because after they pushed the doors open, they ran through, and you guys had been chasing after.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. So are there any obvious Dre nearby, like that I can see? Wow, that was a really hard sentence to say.
No, but there are an obvious Dre.
Thanks.
Dre that are not obvious. You might want to check in the fog. You don't have someone crawling around.
I hope we leave you behind.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are leaving me
You're
behind.
gonna hold the edge here. Alright, so you went in through that building there, and you've come out into this little courtyard area here.
Oh, great. So we didn't
All
go
the
anywhere.
Dre are like right here, like 100 feet away. And
We're really loud.
So you guys are right
running around
here.
with the cart.
but so if you kind of like go this way, you can maybe like hear them like yelling at each other, and the road kind of goes. It's this way. So it basically goes back towards them or on ahead towards the Elven Market, which you're familiar with. You actually know the Elven Market's up
I'm
ahead.
incredibly familiar. This is where
This is where you
I might
go.
even have like a stockpile of things here.
Yeah, I think you do.
Hey. Now back to me. What are we looking at?
You're looking at the fog.
Oh, what am I listening at?
You're
Probably also
practically
the fog.
invisible. For all
Oh.
intents and purposes, you are invisible.
What do I hear though?
You hear the Dre kind of like barking out orders and commands, and like kind of like you can hear their the sound of their like sandals scuffing the ground and like the clink of weapons.
I pop my head up to see where I'm at, look around, and then pop my head back down.
Okay, let me figure out which direction you're facing when you do that.
Oh, sure.
Alright, so you pop your head up, and you're facing directly towards the ziggurat, and the building's like right behind you there, and you're looking right at like 3 Dre, like within like 30 feet
Do they
of
see
you.
me?
Oh yeah, they're looking right at you. I mean,
I
it's
did
like
the
it's
worst
like a
look.
sea of fog, like a gray fog, and your head is just like poking up, like the perfect target. Okay.
What color is your
So,
hair?
fortunately, the 3 that are right there have like just spears and swords, and so they start charging towards you. Like, there he is, and none of them actually had like a ranged weapon.
I
to,
guess
like,
since it's
immediately
waist
kill.
height, I actually kind of have to like go to a crouching stance. So since I'm ready to go, I'm gonna look toward the door, and then I'm gonna.
Would it be reasonable to say that this cloth that was around my neck has also been just trailing behind the cart? So there's like
Oh
an
yeah,
obvious
yeah,
cloth
it's
path?
trailing back like even more than several feet, like 5 or 6 feet,
Okay.
almost a dress worth. It's just kind of like trailing like almost like a majestic cape.
Oh, see, I was thinking that perhaps like one end was attached to me, but the other end was like unraveling behind it.
Well, it's attached still to the bolt of cloth, and you're kind of like sitting on it.
Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just do a teleporty thingy, and then I'm gonna.
That works so well every time.
In which direction? Do you have to be able to see your end location, so you can't go through walls?
Oh, I'm gonna like spin in a circle and then like teleport toward the door,
Okay,
and then
so
run
you
10
arrive like
feet.
right into like the door frame.
Yes, I'm gonna like close the door as quick as I can.
Well, the door's already shut. You're gonna open it and shut it behind you.
Oh, yeah. I'm probably should. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Should I go
gonna-
like right in the
Wait,
door?
didn't you say there were windows?
All right, are the
Right.
windows
When you
Can I
close the
just-
door behind you,
through the window?
not on this part. I think it was fairly dark in there.
Okay.
And when you slam the door, this like spear like point just goes right to the door and pierces the door like just like a few inches from
But they
your
don't hit me.
face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's like embedded in the door.
So
and
I
it's just
was
like
almost dead.
yeah,
Sorry, what were you saying?
for like the 7th time.
It
Yeah, so
was-
there's a spear point. One of them finally hurled their spear at you when they got closer, and
Oh,
you managed to
sweet.
shut the door, and it's embedded itself in the door.
Oh,
And you can see where there's a double
Mhm.
door on the other side that they have gone through. Now you can actually hear the sounds of the wheelbarrow distant. You don't know that it's them, but you can actually hear that sound.
I'm gonna like mouth to myself like, is that a wheelbarrow? And then I think I have a question. Is the spear in far enough that I could just pull it through and take it?
Do you want to try to?
Yes.
Alright, so you
actually.
grab onto the point of the spear and grab on it and take 2 points of damage.
Oh.
It lacerates your hands.
Oh no! I mean, I wasn't just gonna grab onto the. I'm talking about like the stick part. It was
Oh
not
no,
very
the
far
stick's
in.
on the outside.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was asking. If it was very far in, I wasn't just gonna. I'm not just gonna grab onto the blade.
So you've shut the door, and the
Uh-huh.
tip of the spear has pierced the door from the outside.
No, I'm not gonna grab onto that. I'm not.
okay.
Yes,
Alright.
I am very smart.
Okay, we can retcon that one.
I remind you, I am very intelligent.
Yeah, you'll have to keep reminding me of that. So.
All right, then I'm gonna just kind of. Do I still have movement this turn?
Sure. Uh-huh.
Alrighty, I'm gonna like dash that way.
East
Through
through the open double doors.
Yes,
Okay.
through the open double door.
Because east would have been into the dead end.
Yeah, so probably not. I'm gonna go through the doors that are open.
Right,
that
and you can
seem
see on the
straight.
far side of that warehouse that your companions are ahead of you, maybe 50, 60 feet ahead of you, and racing out into the open on the like they've passed through the warehouse,
Mhm.
and Tristani appears to be like trailing some sort of beautiful pink cape that's kind of getting in her face, whatever, and she has her arms like strangely straight down at her sides. So you want to chase after him?
Yes.
Okay.
I am going after them.
And
quick
then,
as I
so
can.
when you teleported earlier,
Mm-hmm.
did that cause you like a point?
Yes, it cost. Yeah, it took me a point.
So
Actually, I
you
didn't
spend
mark
about
that
half your
one.
points for the day.
So I get 14, and I actually have spent exactly half. Yes.
Okay, all right, perfect. So that's
Oh.
kind of cool how a lot of it's just been like narrative and not necessarily like combat specific.
I agree. Oh, and the points that we're talking about are the Mystic class gets psionic points, and basically they work kind of like spell slots, except they're minor buffs that can add up to better. So, for instance, I can use psionic points as long as it's one of my chosen disciplines, and I can buff an arrow shot to do an extra 1d10 up to 4d10s of damage, but it uses 4 of my 14 psionic points for the day. And I get those back after a long rest, so basically in 2 battles I can shoot off strong shots and then be done with it.
So,
So,
in 5th
it's kinda
edition
balanced.
D&D, the Mystic class is a playtest class. Do you want to hold up your Unearthed Arcana?
Oh, yeah,
packet?
yeah.
So if
definitely.
you just Google Unearthed Arcana Mystic, and you can download or check out the PDF for that. So we're playtesting that, and yeah, it's been interesting. So I don't deal a lot with psionic characters, so it's been fun for the narrative. Alright, so let's cut back to your party. So you guys have been racing through, you're still riding in the wagon, and you kind of like look to the side, and as you go by, you kind of see the barbarians kind of like watching, like wide-eyed, like, what? And you just see him like here in the fog, like you just see him like here up, and he's kind of like, and as you're just like rolling past, and you've got like, you know, pink wrapped around you and everything, and like the yellow bandage on your leg, which he can't see, but you can see you kind of wearing this like pink thing, and it's like flying and flapping in the face of Tristani, and yeah, do you say anything or give any sort of directions? You're now realizing where you're at and where the Elven Market is from here, because you've been here before.
Okay. So I'm definitely going to direct them toward the Elven Market, and specifically towards my own, like, area, my own little stall where I used to sell things.
Okay.
I might have some useful trinkets there at the very least.
Basically, keep going straight, because
Yeah.
like the way they're headed, the main road, like between
Mhm.
the ziggurat and the buildings up ahead, goes pretty much straight to the Elven Market.
Yeah, so I would definitely direct them there.
Okay. like straight ahead.
Straight ahead, absolutely.
And so Tristani's just like, and she finally like kind of like wraps it around her hand, and she's kind of got this pink thing like wrapped around her wrist now, and now she's like got it, and she kind of like straightens out and just kind of keeps racing ahead, and then she like says, "Wait, why am I pushing you in a wheelbarrow?"
I was trying to hide, but then we decided to leave.
Right. And
I jump out of the wheelbarrow
Yeah, and she just kind of
at like a full sprint.
Did
She
she
like
like
slaps
lift
it
it
down.
down? Oh, okay.
She's like unraveling it and disgusted, and then like she like redraws her bow, and like she's kind of like drawing arrow, and she starts racing ahead. Are you also racing towards the other market?
I would have jumped out at a full sprint running forward out of the
Oh,
front.
so like, did she just like lift up the wheelbarrow and then he flew out the front?
I think you kind of like just hopped. You're an elf, so you kind of like. I imagine you did some sort of like backward somersault flip thing surrounded by like flowing. Like,
I did like a double
fabric.
gainer on my
I
way
think the
out.
better way to put that is he's a rogue and he did that. Ah.
And if 5th edition allowed taking 10, then you would take 10 here. So
Taking what?
yeah, it's an old term.
What does that mean?
Auto success because you're awesome.
Oh, like when
You're not some filthy.
Oh, like
legend.
take plus 10, you mean? It'd be kind of like, is that what it is, or is it just
No.
considered just auto success?
I'll explain some other time.
So it's sort of like inspiration, but a little bit different.
Definitely completely different. Actually,
It's like automatically succeeding on a DC 10 difficulty check. If your skill's high enough, you.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. That
Like
makes
with
sense.
passive wisdom, like if a trap had a DC of 10 to spot it, and your passive wisdom is 12, you automatically kind of detect
Okay,
it.
that makes sense. Yeah.
So a take 10 or like a take 20, like if you're really skilled, means you kind of like auto succeed. So that was like an old school like 3rd edition D&D type of thing. Yeah, when you just want to kind of like blow off like a thing. Okay, yeah, it's like super easy. Normally you might need to roll, but you're so skilled in this, jumping and somersaulting out of a moving wheelbarrow that you just automatically succeed.
I'm real practiced in it actually.
You've never quite done it with this combination of colored fabrics before, so it's a little bit different. Also, when you land, you kind of like wince in pain, and you go to this like cool like ninja crouch right into the fog, and you literally are invisible to any observers because you're in the fog. Not actually invisible, like magical spells.
Right.
But for all
Which would
intents
actually
and
make me
purposes-
more noticeable in the fog because there would just be a clear spot.
Oh wait, hang on. So now my tactic is coming in useful, but it's useful for him.
Yes, but he's doing it unintentionally.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Now, am I catching up to them around this time?
Yes, you don't know if you're catching up to him because you can't actually see him.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he's practically invisible.
Do I see the halfling head just kind of just...
It was just like his eyes and up.
Oh, do I just see the halfling...
No, what you see
Skull?
is a kind of like a pink mound, like a pink projection emerging from the fog.
Is it moving?
Yeah, it's moving. It's moving towards this invisible space in the fog, and
Or towards an invisible space.
yeah, well, it's
And
like
I'm aware that,
away
that
from
it's
you.
going towards something
Yes.
that I can't
you
see.
can't see Tristani and Sefini racing away in the opposite direction from you. Anyways, but
Okay.
you're like unencumbered, so you can race after them. What's your movement speed? Is it 30
My
or
movement
35?
speed is 30.
Yeah, alright. So basically kind of like you're racing after them.
Yeah. Okay, then I guess I head toward the big thing, which is headed toward an invisible mass that I don't know about, but apparently do.
We're going towards the
All
elephant
right.
market.
As you get
Oh,
closer,
okay.
you
It's a little bit more
realize
clear.
as you exit the building, you can now hear the shouts of the Dre. They've entered the room behind you, and and they seem to all. And you kind of like glance back as you like exit the building, and they've all got like swords drawn and like and whatever, and they're kind of like charging, like pointing and charging and still shouting commands that you can't understand.
I would like a plot twist card now.
Oh boy. Just as I enter. Should just use it right away. I think plot twist cards should be used right away because so that we can't like hand pick and choose. What's it say?
Old chestnut. Ability or effects last one round longer than normal.
Oh.
Do you want to Google Old Chestnut? It's kind of like an old expression.
You turn actually invisible. Like when I
As
was
in that old chestnut is how that gets used in.
Old chestnut.
Let's see here.
What are some of the examples?
Others follow your advice. Things are exactly as they seem. Common sense reveals a clue, or an old saying proves true. An ability to effect lasts one round longer than normal. Is the effective.
What did you find in your Google search?
Just something like an old story or something that's become tedious because of age and constant repetition. I think I yell everyone duck into the fog so that we were invisible.
Huh. Wow.
So you can't really see your party anymore because your entire party is practically invisible now. For all intents and purposes, everyone is invisible, in fact.
What about me? Am I invisible?
No. You're racing towards the fog, and you're not actually obscured in the fog, and it's only waist deep anyways. So they can
I
all
trip?
see you. Huh?
Can I trip?
Intentionally?
You
You could trip intentionally, you just can't go invisible
out of
intentionally.
character intentionally, in character not intentionally.
Perhaps
Can I trip?
perhaps he finds the wheelbarrow by accident.
Yes.
Go ahead and roll a dice 20. Score between 1 and 20, and you trip into the fog.
A score between 1 and 20, and I trip into the fog. I rolled a 4.
Okay, so you trip into the fog, and because of the fog, you're obscured from view. You're not actually invisible, but you are not viewable due to the obscurement
got
provided by the fog.
Alrighty. Perfect. Well, I focus really, really hard mentally
Uh-huh.
and just, like, try to contact our one guy.
Which one?
Oh, I have to
The
see him.
Inex?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking more Lobu, but I might accidentally
Oh.
contact the Inex instead.
I believe you have to be able to
I
see
have
him.
to be able to see him, yep.
And for all intents and purposes, he's invisible right now.
I am mentally focusing on
I'm
this.
actually crawling as fast as I can towards the
Yes,
Elven Market,
I am
away from him.
Nathan, I am...
Wait, now you're crawling?
Well, I was already like down.
I'm
crouched.
pushing myself to the limit to do this. Is this a possibility? Can I, like, mentally extract his mind and speak with him?
Alright, so you feel your mind being mentally extracted.
I'm
Is it
I'm
something that I
frightened,
can-
and
is
I
it something-
try and like
Can I roll for it? Or...
No,
I
let's
try
stick
and
with the
I try and
narrative here.
close off my mind because I'm frightened at what's going on.
You
Because
cut the connection with your dagger.
no, but what I do is I just think stay away is like
you
really
think that-
repetitively.
Can I hear him saying that? Like, do you just say it out loud too? Like, stay away,
No,
stay
no, no.
away.
You don't need me for this, just keep going.
No, so I'm definitely like thinking as hard as I can. Stay away, because I don't know what's going on. It's
You're
never
just gonna
felt like
start
this
hearing,
for
like,
someone.
Like imagine like, you know, like having like a microphone and talking way too close to it, and like you can hear like my breathing. It's like, please don't resist. But it's gonna be like
This
super
actually
loud and windy.
actually like increases my worry about this.
And you hear a small voice say, "Don't make me drink the tea."
What?
And I in
Oh,
fact
no.
double my crawling speed.
You double your crawling speed. Yep. Now you're at 60 feet, and you can also go twice as fast effectively while you're on the ground.
Well, I mean, I was only going at normal speed before, but now I'm actually dash crawling.
So, I'm going to jump back in here to say that your mind extrication attempt has failed. So you still do, in fact, have an intact mind.
That's
All right.
So-
wonderful news.
But I'm glad that I contacted you, and I'm pretty sure that I contacted you. It could have been a Dre, but I don't know. I was just kind of in your
He
general
tried to
direction.
make you drink the tea.
Just take a sip. Come on. Just. You'll like it once you try it. I promise. Okay. How far away am I approximately to the other invisible masses of which I'm not aware?
Approximately this many.
You don't know. They're
Okay,
invisible.
thank you.
You're not aware of them.
I can give it to you in metric. It's like point.
Is it just some?
It's like 8.4 units.
Is it just some? You know, it's like the odd E symbol.
Yeah, see the
That's what it
squares?
is.
It's called a
Squares on the
sigma.
map right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like 8.7 of those.
Well, that means that my telepathy can reach 8.7 of those. So about 40 feet. Right? Or is it not 5 feet?
Yeah, or like 87 meters, something like that.
Oh, okay. So it's
That's way more
that's
than
just
40
a
feet.
little
That's the
bit
range.
further than 40 feet.
Yeah, between 8.7 centimeters and however many meters I just declared.
87
meters.
What is that in feet? Like
Yeah, it's
200.
they're practically invisible, so you honestly have no idea.
So you can go like 264 meters on there. Good luck.
Right. So I think in the time it takes for all this to
Feet.
happen, are the Dre about to overrun you guys?
Oh,
Or-
definitely.
Not me.
It's time
I'm
to- well,
definitely in the front.
I mean,
and
we're invisible.
Crawling as fast as
I mean, we're
you're
invisible,
not.
so overrunning
Except for you, I
us-
think you're obscured by
no,
the fog.
No, I'm like... Oh, okay. I'm screwed by the fog, while the rest of my team is also screwed by the
Well,
fog.
practically for all intents and purposes, invisible within the fog.
But they're invisible. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
you're obscured from vision.
I have 3/4 cover. They have full cover.
No. It's like
Don't
you're
throw
like hiding
mechanics
behind
at
a
me.
curtain, but we're like actually invisible.
Practically. for all intents and
Practically,
purposes.
yeah.
You have to throw it practically, or it doesn't make any sense. All right. I believe that I'm just gonna start crawling towards the invisible masses of which I'm not aware.
Mhm.
Trying to get 8.7 units. Actually, so I've popped my head up and it's always been a terrible thing, but I think I'm just gonna like glance up for the third time again, view my surroundings, and then teleport because I know that it'll be trouble.
Alright, which direction do you crop up in? Alright, you crop up facing the ziggurat.
And
And to the left, you
I
can hear...
only face the ziggurat.
I rolled a 6 again, which is
It's like my compass.
west towards the ziggurat.
It's like my
so-
compass.
Yeah, I'm rolling cardinal directions, and I've rolled the same direction twice.
All
Right.
right.
So you're looking at the ziggurat, and to the left you can hear the shouts of... You're starting to understand their language now. It means, there he is! Attack! Or something like that.
Stop.
Instead of this kind of like shock mixed with like triumph is like, that noob, we can totally slay him now. We get closer every time.
Oh my goodness.
But you don't actually understand any of that because it's not any language
You know what?
recognized.
I'll be able to next time I take a long rest. I'll be able to understand their language for like a
That's-
day.
I think you're assuming a lot
That's
of
the thing.
things.
No,
Your
no, that's
current
the thing.
playstyle doesn't really contribute towards the amount of time that would be required to take a long rest due to premature death.
Yeah,
I guess
I'd
you're-
be impressed if you survived through the Elven Market.
Okay, then I'm gonna instantly look at the direction of which the unknown enemies are firing at me from, and I would like
They're
to.
Dre.
Yes.
So if they're
I
not
would like-
unknown, you know about them.
I would like to look at them.
You're looking at them.
Okay, are they looking at me?
Yes, with their beady eyes.
Okay, I look the other way and teleport 20 feet in that somewhere direction.
Right.
What direction is that?
North?
Yeah. So
Good
we,
choice.
North?
Alright, so you teleport away and you dive back into the fog.
No. I teleport into a spot in the fog, because, you know, if I dove, then they'd see me. but-
Yeah, so you're kind of
Yes.
like next to like the wall that's up ahead of you, the next building.
Basically, my
and you
head
can
pops
basically
up.
like crouch down in the fog again.
See, the way that I like to think of it is I pop my head up, and then it looks like I just pop my head back down, and then I'm gone. Like, I just, like, scurry away really fast. So, yeah, so I teleport.
Do you need to burn another point for that, then?
Yep, I do.
You're definitely part rat.
This is working perfectly.
I now have 6 points left to spend. I can do
Like,
this 6
it's like
more
whack-a-mole
times.
without a whack.
It's just a mole with like a 4-year-old trying to hit it each time. Alright, so yeah, so I teleport that far.
Yeah, great job. You escaped death once again.
4-year-old trying to whap it.
So, have I reached the Elven Market in my
Oh, no.
scurry?
So you kind of like are all like approaching the corner of the next building where he's teleported to. So you're all kind of like clustered together. You can
Only,
hear
like,
the sounds of all you guys kind of like scruffling through. You know, like you can hear it all crawling around. And Tristani's like, "Who's over there?" And like Sefini's like, "It's I." And the barbarian just kind of like not talking at all. He's just kind of like shuffling around, like just like kind of like just like a crouch because he doesn't actually need to crawl around. And finally, he just like pops up and kind of pulls off this like pink cloth that's like covering his head, and he just like rears back with one of his axes and just like throws it at the Dre. And yeah, so that's one of you have like anything you want to do?
Can I grab the barbarian's legs and drag him to the ground?
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab his right leg and pull it towards me so he falls, and then keep crawling immediately.
All
away
right. So you
from
pulled
him.
him down into the fog, and he's kind of like, you know. He doesn't really resist though. He's just kind of passively participating because of the ACT.
I believe that my curiosity once again gets the best of me, and imagine this is the fog, you know? This is my
No.
head, and I pop my head up, and I look again from where I'm at. Our halfling did just pop his head up, you know, and throw an axe and then fall back down.
Am I aware of how many times he popped his head up?
Definitely not. No? Oh, maybe.
All right. We'll say when you pop your head up, you see this axe like spiraling through the air, and one of the Dre like throws up a shield, like,
Uh-huh.
kink, and like embeds itself into one of the shields.
Oh, okay. I want to psychic hammer that one.
All right, does it make a strength
Strength
save?
check. Yep, beat a 14.
Wait. Am I
Don't be
aware
afraid.
that
I
he
rolled a
keeps
19,
popping
so it's
out
like
of
a
the?
22.
Oh, okay. So this like magical hand like nudges his shirt just a little bit. Or his
Yeah, but your
armor.
psychic hammer actually stirs up the fog, and they kind of like that whole half of the group just disappears into like a bank of fog from your psychic hammer. And you can see some other ones that are all like, oh, they're
I have a
they're,
question.
like, charging ahead.
But here's the real question: are they obscured by the fog, or are they invisible?
You're totally visible because your head's in view.
Oh, but I mean, I threw up the fog on purpose, so now they can't see us, right?
The psychic hammer has thrown up some fog, which obscures
Yeah.
some of the Dre from view.
Oh, which
The
would
other-
also obscure us.
They're kind of
from
like spread out,
constantly.
so just like the area where you attacked, maybe like 4 or
Well,
5.
darn. So they see us. I pop my head
No,
back
they
down.
just see you because
Oh,
you're not
okay.
invisible like the others.
Yes. I pop my head back down, but without teleporting this time to hope that I trick them.
You can actually, since you're at the end of the building there, you can just turn the corner and race them down the street, and they won't actually see you around the corner until they turn the corner.
You know what?
So,
I'm
wait,
gonna
are
do
This
we-
is like a side courtyard.
Have we? Wait. Have we reached the corner of the ziggurat yet?
Well, let's do an update on the map.
All right, because I have a plan. If we have,
You're almost there.
all right. When we reach the corner, I would like to. Well, I am considering. All right.
So you guys are at the corner of this building right here. So the Dre are down here.
Mhm.
You guys are right here, and when you turn the corner, they'll lose line of sight, and then you can race towards the Elven Market. So it kind of like goes here, and then the road continues this way, and the Elven Market continues straight ahead.
Okay.
So if you sprint for it, you can make it there.
all right. Then
I
I'm gonna
believe
actually.
going to as
you-
well.
you following
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to do something else, but I have discovered the stairs in the ziggurat and will allow that.
Okay.
What's that?
I was going to come around this corner, climb up the stairs, and like
Oh,
on
yeah,
this
there's no stairs
platform
there.
come back, but then there aren't stairs
No, the
there.
two ways up to the top are on the
Mhm.
stairs, one of which descends into the Gladiator Stadium, and the other one, which is the way you went up
Mhm.
earlier and rescued your, well, Sefini. I wouldn't say friend.
Yeah, I'm
Temporary
guessing she
companion.
probably doesn't love me as of yet. All right, I'm gonna stand up and sprint to the Elven
Okay.
Market.
I think I pop my head up.
Mhm.
Around the corner this time. And do I see him sprinting, or is he still invisible? Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Then I'm
everybody
gonna
else, so you like run
then
for it. There's,
I'm gonna-
we can get to the market.
get up and run
All right.
real fast.
Okay, running. Sefini's running. Tristani's running.
Am I in the front?
Grumble's running, but he's not as fast as the rest of you. So he's kind of bringing up the rear.
Mhm.
Okay, so you guys make it across this last courtyard into where the road kind of like narrows, and basically as you pass through some kind of like ramshackle buildings and like stalls and those kind of things, where people, when they were here, had peddled their wares. When you reach that area, the Dre are behind you. They're about 50, 60 feet away. But the road kind of narrows a bit here, maybe from being like 40 feet wide to about maybe half that, maybe about 20 feet wide. But it's not like an exact measurement because the way the stalls kind of encroach on it. I mean, it's kind of like an old world style city layout. So we'll say you kind of like reach the narrowed way, and up ahead, about another 50 feet away, there from memory, there'll be a major left branch that falls along the edge of the ziggurat deeper into the city, and then the right branch kind of like will skirt around to go back kind of like the way you came towards the gate that you came from earlier in the day when you entered the city, and continuing straight takes you straight to the Elven Market.
All right. I would definitely want to go straight. I, for one, definitely want to go back to my own stall. I know I have like some extra daggers there.
Okay.
Maybe some things to sell because I don't feel like I'm going to stay in the city very long.
Okay. And Kale, how about you?
I believe I'm going
Just
to
following him.
follow our elf. Yes.
So everybody's basically following you. You know the ways. You're kind of a few paces ahead of the rest of the party, and Grumble is now about 20 feet behind the party.
All right.
But he's chasing. You kind of like see the top of his head as he's like running through, kind of like loping along. The Dre are still behind. They're not actually moving at like a fast pace. You guys are running, and they're not running after you. They're just kind of like moving. They still have other things out, and they seem to be kind of like wary. They were the same way coming down the stairs of the ziggurat as well. They weren't racing after you guys, and now that they have a clear line, like they're following you, they seem to be fairly confident or wary of like they're just not moving at the speed you guys are.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna keep running until I get to my stall. Actually, and if there are any stalls that are, I'm guessing they're all unmanned at this point.
We haven't reached the stalls yet
Okay.
because we're still racing ahead.
Okay.
So before you get to the Elven Market is that intersection I talked about.
Right.
So we'll say you're approaching the intersection now, which goes left, right, and straight ahead basically. And there's kind of like some outlying like random buildings, but the Elven Market is another 100 paces ahead.
Okay.
So you want to kind of like look around as you're racing through the intersection,
I suppose, yeah, I'll look left and right as
Okay.
I get there.
and then you're also catching up to him as he kind of pauses at the intersection to scan around. He'll give you
Okay.
an opportunity to do something.
How high are the buildings here?
Just these are like little one-story buildings.
12
Maybe
feet.
kind of like a little bit off to this, like a little bit like a block away. There might be some 2 or 3 story buildings, but like right here, it's kind of like low. There are a couple spots where there's like clotheslines being strung along. So the tops of the buildings here, are, like several of them are like it's not like peaked roofs; they're like flat. And so there's like upper stories where they have like posts and stuff.
Gotcha.
And like there's like some things strung across, like some laundry, like kind of like drying in there and that sort of thing. As you look to the right, you can see the fog kind of stretching off into the city, and you see a couple mounds from eggs in the fog. As you look off to the left, you see this massive like throng, like a host of like bodies, like kind of milling around. It's like filling up the whole western road
Are they
along
moving?
at the base. Yeah, there's like tons and tons.
Do they
of,
look like Dre?
No, definitely not.
They're
No,
just
they look
people.
like people kind of like shuffling around,
I'm pretty sure that these people shuffling around.
and they're like,
Can't
of
take
course,
sight.
surrounded by fog.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do the buildings? Do they look structurally stable from the top? Like, does it look like the top
Oh
of
yeah,
these
yeah.
buildings?
The buildings aren't.
Oh,
damaged
okay.
at all.
Then I'm gonna teleport to the top of one of these buildings.
Okay, like so you're approaching the intersection,
Mm-hmm.
and there's buildings on like all 4 corners. So what is called like northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest.
So the direction of the Elven Market is north. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the closest of the most north I can go on top of the building.
Okay, and then you can go on the left towards the ziggurat side, or on the right away from the ziggurat side.
Probably so I can still see the ziggurat. So on the ziggurat side.
Okay, so on the left side. All right, so you kind of go teleport up into the left onto the top of that one. You get a commanding view, and you see a host of people. Seems to be a lot of like, given their like garb, like people from like the slave pens, that kind of thing, like farm hands, the workers, the poor. But it seems like mostly like a lot of slaves, but they don't appear to be shackled, and they also don't appear to be behaving like rationally. Almost everyone you've seen that wasn't a Dre was like fleeing the city, and these guys are like kind of like milling around.
I believe that that since I've watched The Walking Dead before, or Sylvester has definitely watched The Walking Dead before, he's gonna know this is right away, and he's gonna yell like,
Give me an arcana.
gotta hit him in
Give
the
me an
head.
arcana
Okay.
check.
I think this
What
makes
do
more
you mean
sense.
he's watched The Walking Dead?
Um,
Can we take a moment to acknowledge that?
All right, that Arcana check, which didn't you said you wanted to change that to sound? Oh, never mind. Religion is psionics. I apologize. 12. Is what I got.
Oh, did we change arcana?
No. We changed religion to psionics
Okay, all right.
since religion is
So-
very, very not prevalent in this D&D setting.
Yep, DC's 10. What'd you roll?
I rolled 12.
12. All right. So you recognize that these are some kind of. It's not natural. Just like with the fog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. You've been in the city before. There's nothing like this here. It's got to be related.
Then I believe I'm going to try using my psychic hammer to like. Are they within 120 feet of me?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we'll say there's
Okay.
some like closer.
Then can I use my psychic hammer as a passive way to like move the fog from their feet?
Do you want to actually like
close-
hit one of them, or?
Not to hit them, but I want to use my psychic hammer to kind of like create a burst of wind, if you may, kind of like prestidigitation.
Okay, all right, so it succeeds. Go ahead and describe what your psychic hammer does.
I just kind of want to make like a bit of like a swirl,
Mhm.
where it's just gonna kind of like blow some wind around
Right, so
the
instead
feet
of
of
kind
one
of
of
like
them.
walls of things, you can see like
Yeah.
2 of them are like kind of like right together near you.
Yeah.
And what are you looking for, or what do you?
I just kind of observe like how they react whenever they're not touching the fog, and also see like if something looks really unusual under them. You know, like if their legs look kind of not mutilated, but you know what I mean. Like if they look kind of like poisoned by the fog, or
We'll say
corroded
one of
even?
them kind of has like a leg shackle, but the chains like it's just got that shackle part around like the, almost said wrist, around the ankle, but there's no chain attached to it, and barefoot, just simple garments, definitely like slaves, and as you look a little closer, their eyes are almost like glazed over white, like you can't see like the color or the blacks of their eyes. Their eyes are just kind of like whited over, and they're not like communicating. They're just kind of like, when you do that, they kind of like look at you and they kind of like lurch towards you
I'd like to throw up.
and like the
mind
whole mass, it's almost like a
Uh-huh.
hive mind. It's like ants. When you stirred up a pile of ants,
Yeah.
they all just kind of like
Swarm.
they start like shuffling, like the attention's kind of like turning towards you. You've kind of like drawn attention to yourself, and you're standing up on a building where pretty much the hundreds of creatures here in this road all can see you now, and they all start like shuffle towards your location.
I believe that I'm going to. Oh man, I'm gonna.
The building's not so tall that you couldn't just hop down.
Oh, I'm gonna talk to him. I mean, they're not gonna be able to touch me since I'm on top of the building. I'm gonna talk to one of them in my mind, and I'm gonna be like, "Hail,
Just
friend."
Telepathy.
Yeah.
Can you go ahead and look up what the requirements are?
They
for
have to
your target?
understand a language. They don't have to be able to speak it, but they have to either have telepathy or understand a language. I have it right here for you, if you want to look at it real quick.
I need to see if.
Here you go.
No.
Okay.
I need to look up if this duo speaks a language.
Yes. You don't need to share a language with the creature for it to understand your telepathic
Yeah,
messages.
I can.
But as I understand. So I'm gonna say, "Hail, friend. Well met."
Alright.
And I'm gonna do like a half-hearted haha wave at them whenever I do it.
Alright. You feel like you've successfully delivered that message into the void.
Any reaction?
Mm-mm.
Just
Well, I mean, they're coming towards you like friends approaching for a hug, you know. Like, hey, long
Oh,
time
yeah,
no see.
okay. Now do they look?
Do you descend down to embrace them?
Would I see them as friendlies? I mean, I'm pretty smart.
They seem pretty like vacant, and yeah, I'm not really sure your experience as an adventurer. I think you're getting out for the first
True.
time.
Yeah,
They don't
I'm
appear to
kind
be
of a-
smiling or anything like that. In fact, they almost are featureless as far as facial expressions are concerned.
I think I'm going to. This takes sonic points. I just now was looking at it. It takes 1. Yeah. So I basically, within 5 feet of me, I can place a sonic anchor or a teleportation anchor, and it lets me. As long as I'm within 120 feet of it, whether or not I can see it, I can teleport back there as a bonus action without using any extra points. So I'm gonna put it on top of the building. That takes up a point.
Across the way.
Yeah, on top of the building. So basically,
Wait, where you currently are, or a different building?
where I currently am, because it has to be within 5 feet.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna do that. I've now used 10 of my 14. Wow. And I'm going to use that, and then I'm gonna hop down from the building. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be bad news, but I can always just pop
Down
right
at the
back.
road to approach them.
Yes, I can
Okay.
always just pop right back. Since I've never seen anything like this, I'm assuming and
Alright,
hoping.
roll initiative.
Okay.
I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 16.
Okay, so they kind of lunge towards you, and they're just kind of like.
Do they look menacing? Does it seem
Yes.
like I can beat them?
You don't currently have any weapons in hand. But
Yeah,
you
you're
could
right.
probably take these two. You're confident you could survive encounter with these two. The other 300 or 400, you are starting to doubt yourself.
100. Well, the other 300 or 400 aren't coming at me right now, are they?
There were thousands in the slave pens, so it looks like there's a decent chunk
But are
of the
they,
slaves here.
Are they flooding my direction?
Yeah, when you made the whole spectacle,
Yeah.
they all kind of said that. Remember, they all kind of
How
turned
far
towards
away
you.
are they?
Within the immediate vicinity,
Mm-hmm.
maybe about 100. If you count the whole road along the edge of the ziggurat, they're beyond your immediate counting. If you were back in your position, you could probably count there for about 20 or 30 minutes and get an accurate head count. But at a glance, maybe 500. It's hard to say. Could be as few as 300, as many as 1,000.
I'm curious. I've never tried this. Alright. So I'm going to take my bonus action to teleport back up there. And I have a pack. So I'm going to grab a lighter.
A lighter?
Not a lighter, I'm
A
sorry.
Zippo?
I'm going to... Yeah, I've got a butane torch, is what it is.
Oh.
I'm going to grab a match.
So you had the flamethrower, and he had the lighter.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to grab my match, And can we say that I have something flammable on me?
I don't know what's in your inventory. Oh, you don't have any.
A scholar's
inventory.
pack. I have some paper. I'm gonna light my paper on fire and throw it into the fog toward these things.
All right.
And see what happens. I'm curious if the
So
fog
you
is
set it on
flammable
fire.
effectively.
You've got like a flint and steel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I
And
guess
so you
too
kind of
fancy.
like try it and it doesn't catch.
I mean, it catches on fire on my.
Wait,
paper.
do you have torches?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got torches. You can light a torch. How's
Yeah.
that?
So I light a torch, and then I wish in my mind.
By the time you finally get your torch lit, the
I'm on the building.
creatures are now surrounding the building and pouring in towards the intersection. So you've had
Yeah,
your
yeah,
moment
okay,
for
yeah.
now. So we'll come back to you in a second. He's kind of gone up there and he's like making a scene, and you can see this mass is like drawn towards him. They don't really notice you. They're kind of noticing his antics up there, like lighting a torch and stuff.
Yeah, I don't even think I would pay attention to him. I was ahead of him for a reason. I'm getting to my stall before we get out of here.
Okay, and we'll say that Tristani and Sefini have chased after you, and that the barbarian has successfully climbed up onto the building by like some rope or something.
Mhm.
I'm
And
impressed.
while you're lighting the torch, you kind of like look, and he's like right there, and he's like watching you light the torch, and he's kind of like looking over the edge, like you know, like almost like drooling at the amount of food that's just like milling about down at the base of the ziggurat.
Someone just now asked what's at stake here.
Speaking of steak, there's a lot of steak as far as Grumble is concerned, because he does like to eat humanoids.
But danger-wise, basically there's a big horde of slow-moving people,
Possibly zombies?
possibly zombies, but this is out of character. Our characters, of course, don't know that. I just now lit a torch, and I'm gonna see if there's waist-high fog down below. I'm on top of a building.
This isn't normal fog. It's like weird magical fog.
Yes, exactly. And basically, I'm gonna see if the fog is flammable with my torch, which I doubt it is, but you never know. So,
So what's at stake
Yes.
is you're being chased by about a dozen armed dragon-type people called Dre. There's also several hundred hostile creatures down below you. So
humanoids.
there's a very decent chance you could die if you get surrounded or if they catch up. So yeah, so we could have a total party wipe if things go poorly. But you do have like the advantage of speed and the fact that most of the city is now vacant because everyone has fled. But you could die. And I'm totally fine with everyone dying because we could roll up new characters or start a new campaign.
We could just be one of the zombie characters.
We're just going to follow the narrative wherever it leads, based on the natural consequences of your actions and always the randomness of dice. And because we'll leave an element to chance.
All right, so I have my torch. Can I just drop it from above into the
Were you
fog?
throwing it or dropping it?
I'm just gonna try hitting the first couple zombies that I approached. I'm gonna try hitting the
Individuals.
first couple humanoids that didn't respond to my telepathic message.
How do you respond to a telepathic
Right.
message?
So
Message?
your torch falls into the fog. So there was actually something else at stake. You've literally lost your torch. You could jump down and get it if you'd like.
By I lost my torch, like
Right.
it's in the fog for good
So
now?
suddenly you kind of like grasp your head as it like you get this like pain where you feel like suddenly like as this horde is like approaching you, your attunement to the minds of others, you kind of have impressions that
Yeah.
you're starting to feel this like icy piercing like sense of like this massive mind, not like the minds of an individual but like a large mind like piercing yours, and it like it almost like disables you for a moment, and you kind of like let's go ahead and give you let's do a wisdom save to
Okay.
see how you respond to this like feeling.
That's a nat 20 plus
20.
2, so...
All right, yeah, no, nat
Plus
20.
4, sorry.
So you're able to like shake it off, and like you look down, and you just have this like almost like a vision of this like all these creatures like made this black teeming sea of like fog and shadow, and you just get this overwhelming sense of evil, and you're like almost like you either are gonna give in to fear or you're gonna like flee from the fear, and so instead of giving in, you're like you shake yourself out of it like you're still in control.
do I get a sense of like what area of the surrounding, I mean, aside from just like the mass, does it feel like that I can tell, like, if there's some place in the city, say, maybe the ziggurat, that I could tell where that might be mainly coming from? Or do I not really
you
get a
can
sense
see
of
that.
direction?
You kind of got the sense that it's all kind of tied together.
So
Even
it's
like
kinda
in,
just like
in
a
your
big
vision,
network.
the people below you had like the appearance of like cloudy like apparitions, almost like they were just like one with the fog, but they were like black and cold and like death.
Oh.
Like your death is here, their death is here, your death is here. It's like you were almost like going to embrace them in death.
I think at
And
this
you
point,
snapped out of it.
I think I'm ready to completely like bail from the city 100%. I'm going to just say this. So you're right next to me. I'm going to say, like, out loud.
No. The barbarian is right next.
The barbarian's right next to me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, he's off in the.
Oh,
market.
well, I'm going to tell the barbarian, I'm going to say, I think we need to go now.
And he kind of like looks
we're
out
going to die.
over like the hundreds of like swarming like creatures.
Yeah.
And he's like, all that food.
If you're hungry, we'll get some more Enix egg for you, but we need to leave. Where is his Enix? I just thought about this. We
I
just
think-
left it in the
I
fog.
think we left it in the fog at the base of the stairs.
Oh my god.
So the Dre now have a really nice.
We
looking
can
Enix.
we can always come back for him when he's grown up. All right. Well, I think I'm just telling the barbarian. We need to go. This is important. We're gonna die. And if he's hungry,
All right, so what do you do?
do what you want. I definitely start like hopping buildings to leave the city as quick as I can, if that's
Okay.
possible.
Um,
Like if I can hop building to building, but if they're higher up, then I'll just teleport. I just kind of want to stay as far away from the danger as
the
possible.
buildings kind of as you get towards the Elven Market. Actually, the building you're on is like kind of like surrounded by road on all sides, so you would have to hop down from here or teleport to a different building.
Okay.
But the Elven Market is straight ahead of you, and in fact, from your vantage point, as you go to like look for another building to jump to, you can see the other members of your party
Oh, I'm
in
gonna.
the Elven Market, and he's kind of rummaging through his stall.
All right, I'm just gonna send them messages real quick, like, it's time to leave now. We're gonna die. Come on.
All right, so what have you been doing prior to receiving that message?
Well, I'm collecting like the 10 or so daggers I would have had on sale.
You had them kind of like buried in like a little small like leather and wood chest, like underneath the sand in like a hidden compartment.
So we're
Yeah.
in an
And then-
apocalyptic like place. We're gonna probably die, and you're just trying to find your stuff so you can sell it later.
I wanted my daggers.
It's like a true elf, man.
All right, fair enough.
All
Let's
right.
let him go and narrate what he's doing.
All right.
Yes.
So I collect my daggers, and anything else I can see on any of the adjacent stalls, like
Okay.
jewelry, perhaps some fruits.
I don't
If
think
there
there's
are
any jewelry lying
any
around because elves aren't
foods-
that stupid.
No, yeah,
You
I
got
didn't
some
figure.
like food maybe.
But like, if they have like a bunch of mythological bananas or something,
What?
Mythological banana.
fruits
let's-
that grow in bunches, or maybe like a durian. If they have a durian, that would be nice. Maybe throw it at someone; it'll spiky. Would I perhaps also have caltrops lying about somewhere,
Oh, boy.
like for sale? Maybe some bones that could be used for caltrops.
I'm thinking there's just lots of like curios and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There is like a weapon shop. If you head further north, you
Mhm.
could go check the weapon shop. There's no caltrops here.
Okay.
We'll say like there's like adventuring gear and like knickknacks and that kind of stuff, but no like out weaponry or like jewelry. Yeah, and we can say that you do find a little bit of food. So if you want to pack your bag full of food, how have you got your food recorded on your sheet?
I just have rations 10.
Okay.
That
Let's bump
works.
that up to 12.
All right.
Oh, I actually don't have my rations put down. I'll just keep mine at 10.
And there's no water. We'll just say it's food right now. There's no water here.
Mhm.
There is like a well, not too far to the north, where the there's like a weapon shop, so to speak.
Okay.
All right, so you're doing all that. Tristani's grabbing a couple random things and throwing in her pack, and Sefini's kind of like staring anxiously back towards the way we're coming, and you're kind of like racing through. And what was the message you sent?
I definitely said, we need to get out of here because we're gonna die, and there are things that are scary, and I don't want to be here anymore.
And the barbarian's kind of like reluctantly following after you, but he didn't stay there.
Which direction are you going?
He's headed.
Oh,
toward
I'm
the
headed out of the city, like as quick as I possibly
Which
can.
direction are you going?
I believe east would be the direction, Nathan.
Well, I thought you were headed towards them.
Well, I mean, I headed towards
We're in
them
the north.
to like group up and then leave.
Okay.
But I don't even care about rummaging for anything
You're in the
else.
center of the city, so there's.
So every direction is leaving?
I guess he has the point.
So the closest gate is the one you came in
Mm-hmm.
to the southeast. That's off the way all the refugees are fleeing.
Yeah.
You could also go out the stadium gate on the opposite side of town, but you have no idea. That would be back kind of towards the horde.
Yeah, I don't think that's what I want to do. I just want to like I'm trying my best to map out the entire city in my head and then go
So as you
out the
glance
one we
around,
came in.
there is an elven bridge going off to the east, which will double back away through like the nicer part of town, back to the caravan district and out of Tyr. So you know that's the way out.
Yeah.
Okay. They're all like
Whichever way.
cramming like food supplies into their packs.
I might have just even picked up a second bag to put more things in.
I tell them we need to leave, and then I just start booking it.
You can
Like,
change
I'm
your
just
food to
gonna leave.
12 if you would like.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
If you're grabbing food supplies.
I don't think I am. Like I said, I'm just pretty much telling them we
if
need to
you're-
leave.
If you're not grabbing
and then
food,
leaving.
then leave it at whatever.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
Then I'm just saying, hey, we need to go. I'm not kidding. If you don't come with me right now, you're just gonna die. And then I'm gonna go find a new elven tribe, and I really don't
Okay.
want that. So let's
Right.
just go. And I kind of tug at your
let's see
shoulder,
what time
logo.
we have here. Oh, it's 1 a.m. All right. Okay, so you guys have finished gathering and
Mhm.
stuffing things, and Sefini is basically while we're doing this. She's like, "To stay here will be my death. I want to stay with you guys as we flee
Mhm.
the city, if that's okay."
Alrighty.
I make no motion to either or to even acknowledge her existence as I continue to rummage through my things and then leave.
You kind of got everything.
I nod at her and like kind of.
And you
You're
know, going back the way you came is probably the quickest way out.
Mm-hmm.
The less traveled route is kind of a little bit out of the way across the Elven Bridge. You guys have actually left this way before as elves. But across the Elven Bridge goes into... There's actually a bridge into the nice... where all like the nobles and stuff live. Not over by the slave pens, which are on the other side of this part of the city. And there's not a lot of commerce and traffic here, so the roads are a little bit narrow. The buildings are a lot nicer. And it's kind of like on the other side of that, if you kind of bear to the right, that takes you back to... You remember the caravan district when you first entered?
Mm-hmm.
It'll take you in on the opposite side of that district. And then once you cross through it, then that will take you to the gate and out of the city.
Okay.
Is that the way you want to go?
Yeah, I
Yes,
think that sounds
definitely.
great.
100%.
Along the way, we'll say it takes about 10-15 minutes, unless you're like racing through. But you've outdistanced your pursuers, so it's kind of like eerie, but like you almost don't see like anyone at all on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
You do see the eggs periodically here and there.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like different
Do they look any different?
shapes. They have like this, like the texture of it is kind of like similar, but sometimes the color of the they're semi-transparent. So a person wearing particularly bright clothing inside of it, because they're not like naked inside of it, the clothing they had on is still in there, and so you can kind of see like they had blue clothes, it has like a blue hint, or if they had like red clothes, it's kind of like a red tint. Or it looks like kind of whitish if they have like a white robe, that sort of thing.
And the eggs were basically people that got like entombed in the fog, in a sense, is what it was.
Well, you haven't actually seen how the eggs are forming, but there's definitely, you know, that inside the eggs are dead people.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it looked like. All right. So with you said I had a mental vision of like, you know, this like terrible evil, but all one mind. You said that was like.
You got the sense that whole throng of like people or creatures down below was like unified in purpose as like almost like this mass of like cold,
Gotcha, a hive mind.
deathly evil.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily like a sentient like entity,
Oh, I gotcha.
but like a massive like an evil.
As we
cold,
leave,
dark mass.
does that start to kind of like fleet away? You know,
Yeah,
kind
you
of start to
you
go
kind of
away?
like snapped out of it. It was just kind of like a
so-
momentary vision where it's
So
like
it's
you're
not something I
almost alone.
stayed connected to. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you rolled a natural 20, so you're able to break that mind connection.
All
It was
right.
just kind of jarring because you weren't expecting it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So anything else worth noting as we try to head out?
Okay, so you've been this way before, so let's say you navigate. Other than the fog and like the egg people things in the fog, you make your way to the caravan district, and you recollect that on the way out there's the like the kink pens where you guys would buy kinks on your way to leave,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of just like one like road over on the way out, like the main road that goes straight through, where the kinks are like bought and sold is off on the that's like one street over.
No.
Do you guys remember-
I'm not going to. He
Do you
might.
remember what kinks are?
No. Yes. Are they like lizard things?
No, the Inex are the lizard-like beasts of burdens.
Uh-huh.
Let me find a picture. There's a
So-
picture of a human there. So the Inex look like this.
Uh-huh.
So they're kind of like low to the ground, which is why you couldn't see it in the fog.
Yeah, they look a lot like Komodo
And the
dragons.
kinks are these like gigantic, like ant-like insect type
Uh-huh.
creatures that are beasts of burden. But they can also be ridden.
Yeah. Alrighty, cool. So, yeah, they're giant ants that are the size of...
Well, there's no horses,
horse,
so
pretty
you
much?
can ride Ninex. There's kind of like ostrich-like creatures,
Mm.
but the kinks are really useful. They can also be like farmed for or harvested. They give us like green globes of honey, like sap things, and
Yeah.
you can drink it and consume it. It's like sugary
So it would be a source of food and a source of
water.
transportation.
And yeah,
Alrighty. I think I'm slightly more open to it after just
yeah.
remembering
So,
this
so
entire
you're
thing
remembering
about
this
them.
because you've traveled here before.
Yeah.
So do you want to cut over there?
Yeah, I think I would definitely want to. After my ride in the wheelbarrow, at the very least, I'm in the mood to let my
You're in the
burden
mood
go
to
on
just
somewhere
not
else.
walk anymore?
All right, Kill, roll a dice 20.
Roll a d20. Alright. Our d20 is an 18.
All right, so there's like 18 of these things. Like they're all pinned up and docile.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
The merchants have all left and that sort of thing. They're not saddled though. They're just in a pen.
Are there
There's
saddles here?
around. Mm-hmm.
Can I saddle one of them?
Give me an animal handling. Anybody that wants to saddle one,
Yes.
animal handling check.
I believe that I
DC
do.
is 10. Okay, the barbarian rolled a 1, so he failed.
What is
I
animal
rolled an
handling
18 on mine.
under?
All right. Sefini immediately
found
saddles
it.
one and hops
Okay.
on board, and Grumble like kicks his. He can't actually reach up there, and so Tristani's trying to help him, and they're both neither one have been able to saddle a kink. Sefini's already mounted and ready to go. And then have you guys saddled yours?
I handled mine in an animal-like fashion.
All right.
I was very close to.
Sefini's
but
like mounted
no.
and ready to leave, and she looks down on you guys all and discuss like, "Have you never saddled a kink before?"
No, I
right,
used to
and
pay
then-
people to do this for me.
All right, and then you realize that her kink is like kind of like gnawing on something, and she points over, and there's like these buckets of like things outside of the pen, and she's like, "No, you just grab some of the food and feed it, and while it's feeding, it will be docile, and you just loop it over. Just pair up; it'll be really easy." And,
She just cuts herself off.
so you guys can like pair up and like, and you feed them, and anyways.
Alrighty.
Alright. Do we get the kinks?
Yes.
Yeah. So
It's-
each of you will have a kink mount now.
Alright. I'll
with
add
a-
that
with
to my
a saddle.
inventory. That's equipment, right? Yeah. Yeah.
I just put it off to the side.
I'll put kink mount.
They
I'm putting
can
it in
also,
equipment.
because they have like their abdomen, so you kind of sit in the middle of it. They've got a head, and then behind that they've got an abdomen. And when you put the saddle on, it's got kind of like a shelf where you can lash on some supplies. So if you don't actually ride it, it can hold quite a bit of weight. And if you are riding, it can still contain like a small amount of baggage.
Alrighty.
Kind of like saddlebags, so to speak, but it's not a horse.
Oh, and I call naming mine Kanky. My kink's name is Kanky now. So
I'm not gonna name mine.
all right, you don't name yours. My name is Kinky, and then I believe that I try leaving immediately. Like I might even like
Right.
forget to like
So
take something off.
there's a path back to the assembly area with the caravans, and there's just like littered stuff. There's like broken wagons and stuff just dumped there. There's places where like wagons have clearly been like unloaded of cargo, and people like use that to move possessions out and stuff. And so it's kind of like one of the last stops on the way out of the city where there's still things. And you even see the back of like a dead Kank that's like kind of like buried under some boxes and stuff where it's been like left for dead. So to speak.
Sad day.
Yeah, and so you make your way back to the main drag, and you can see there's a contingent of Dre. Roll me a dice 8 and let's see how many there are.
There are 1 Dre.
There's 1 Dre Ogre Lord.
There are 1
And
Dre.
with all of his minions, roll a dice 20 for minions. Just kidding.
boy, okay.
All right, no. So there's a lone Dre Sentinel standing above the gate with a bow. So as you guys are turning to leave, he kind of like he takes a horn like, and what do you guys do?
Leave.
I think I
Start
just
down the
tried.
city?
I think I just tried running him over with my Kank.
No, he's up at the top of, above the gate with a bow.
Oh, I mean
Like a
you know,
sentry.
my Kank will just like climb the wall and no.
It's not a gecko.
Yes, I'm definitely just leaving.
Okay, so you guys are like racing through the city. We'll say he. Let's see. So how many of you are there?
5.
So probably he won't aim at Grumble because he's so tiny. So I'll roll to see.
There's 6 of
1,
us.
2, 3, 4. He shoots, and you're 2, so he
Oh.
shoots at you.
Okay, 16 is my AC.
And because you're racing on a king, he'll have disadvantage. I rolled a 4 and a 19, so he kind of shoots, and it kind of misses you, and it careens off the exoskeleton of your Kank, doing no damage.
Gotcha.
And you guys like successfully exit the city.
Oh, sweet.
All right, and we're gonna end our session here. So let's do a quick debrief. Highs and lows of the session. Let's start with Ethan.
I liked having an opportunity to try and rob someone on top of a ziggurat before saving their life. I don't know. I really like the whole chase scene. That's really cool. I've never done that in D&D before, so that was a lot of fun.
And for the record, there are chase mechanics in the player's handbook. I'm pretty sure. I just kind of made it up as I went though.
I mean, it was pretty good. I think
Splitting the party seemed like a bad idea.
Splitting the party is never a bad idea. In fact, you should split off and go individually.
I mean,
I think someone is trying for that at the moment.
I didn't split the party. Okay, the fog was waist high, and you can't see into the fog, so I figured laying down on the ground and getting behind enemy lines was a great idea.
My intent with going in the building was to hide and ambush them one at a time with a choke point, but then we left. So.
But I mean, in my, technically, I guess my low parts of the session were when I was low to the ground and popping my head up and constantly being seen immediately, and then just like teleporting 20 feet.
Well, you just failed to be invisible at the right times.
Exactly, and that's the problem that I find myself running into.
I like how invisibility became like the theme of our session, totally inadvertently.
Even though we don't even have it. And then I think what I really liked was just like being able to kind of, work together to try and like figure out what's really happening. We didn't actually figure out what happened, but it was great like role playing to try and kind of get a lot more of the scene.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Don't forget, you also have a new companion, Safini, who you actually haven't spoken with much. Maybe in our next
At
session.
all, actually. Not a
So he
word.
said barely anything.
Yeah, so I think she spoke with Grumble the most, with the barbarian halfling, bizarrely
He's an
enough.
NPC right now.
Yeah, so
I mean, I wasn't talking to her because I was on the run, and I really just didn't care about her. I just wanted her money.
so now you're fleeing the tyranny of Tyr into the safety of the wasted land of Athos.
Oh, and I was actually going to ask, do you think that we could draw a plot twist card at the end of the sessions to see, or start off the session with drawing one and see kind of what happens?
I drew a triumph card.
Triumph.
All right.
I would call
So
that
no
triumph.
plot twist.
Success inspires confidence. You have lived to flee again another day.
All right. So
And in the desert, waterless, foodless, heartless wastes of Athos embrace you as you flee the city.
all right.
All right. I'd like to take this opportunity to try and sell you this
incredibly fine blue cloth. It shines.
Blue claw.
Yeah, it's
I'll give you some inspiration for this.
yeah. So this is the finest stuff we have in all of Tyr.
I think I have a headache. Sold. Sold. I'll buy it right now. 10 gold ceramic pieces.
As you reach out for it,
Is
since
that
you're
fair?
separated by a distance of about 20 feet while on kinkback, it falls into the ground in the distance.
No.
I make no attempt to like go get it or hand you the cloth.
Oh, I definitely jump off my king because I feel like it's unjust to not pay him the money
Okay.
that he deserves.
And then we're going to end with a cliffhanger ending. Also, if you can turn over the inspiration, because you was at the end of the session. So
Yeah.
And to answer your question about do we play on Friday night? Yes, we will be playing every Friday night.
next
Starting
week
around-
we'll be moving it to Saturday, though, I think,
Oh.
because we had a scheduling conflict on Friday night.
Never mind, we play every Friday night except for this next Friday night.
I think next Friday we had a scheduling conflict. Let me
Yeah, we
double
had
check.
something come up. Since this is fairly new, it was hard to kind of schedule around.
Yeah, so next week it'll be on Saturday the 15th.
And what time will that be?
So in Central Time, that will be around,
Mm-hmm.
10 o'clock?
9, 10.
Yeah, so 11 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock at night Pacific Time. All right, is that it? Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I think that'll be it. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you guys next week. And have a great night.